Dominating your fantasy league? Prove it.
Shaping up to be a great game between these two teams. There's no telling what might happen.
Enhance the game with 3 easy steps. Predict, compete, and win. Start now and play your first $20 risk-free. Only on WINVIEW.
What's up, y'all? The link has been dropped. If you want to come backstage, follow the link right now. It has been dropped. One moment. Let me post it one more time for y'all. What's up, Ronnie? Yes?
Just sad.
Why? What's wrong?
Hey, PD.
What's up, Jolie?
What's up? So I think, and I don't know if you noticed, but you had some technical difficulties before.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. Just double checking. Hey, Q. Hey, Gigi.
What's going on, guys?
Oh, we had such a great talk last time, but because of technical difficulties, obviously we had to restart this whole process, but we should be able to come on and continue the great conversation here.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Hopefully I don't get kicked out every time like last time.
Honestly, that's happened to me too, so I get you, Gigi. Now, Gigi, I got questions for you because I know you were in you heard the last stream, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So,
Hey, Jolie, if you want to lead the way, I wanted to hear y'all thoughts on our playoff potential.
oh, okay. Well, I guess with the panel, what do you guys think about us and the way that we're actually doing so far that will actually get us to the playoffs?
I
You
mean,
can start.
we doing good, but it's like I feel as though you can't. I mean, they would have to win out, and a couple of teams would have to start losing. That's my whole thing with the can we make it to the playoffs? I mean, you want us to finish off on a good note, but at the same sense, it's like I would still say get ready for next year and see what players you're going to keep and see what players you're not. Because somebody told me they thinking about not resigning Gesicki, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. But do you think we're in a better position now this year than we were last year
From the standpoint
to make the playoffs?
to make the playoffs, I don't know because I don't really see us see our like I don't really know the records of the AFC right now. So I mean, they might be able to. I think last year was better because last year we kind of knew we kind of needed these 2 games to make it. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's like anybody could win out, anybody could start losing on that little bit of, you know.
I like our chances, man.
I mean, I do like our chances with the defense playing good.
About it. I like our chances. I feel as though if we had this quarterback play early in the season, our record would be better. We won't be having this conversation about chances. We'll be in the hunt already. So you never know.
But I mean, it's not really quarterback play. It's the defense.
Yeah,
defense is playing crazy.
No. If you watch I'm gonna say this to people. I'm gonna say this. I keep having this conversation with people. If you watch our games, defense hold the other team for 3 quarters. Besides the Tampa Bay game, we hold the other team for 3 quarters, and the offense can't do anything. That's the problem. I'm just being honest. That's what I see. If you watch even the 2 Buffalo games, if we played better, we would have won those games, both of those games.
But you're not playing that level of competition of teams. The second half of the schedule is going to be easier.
We could have beat Buffalo. I'm gonna say this: Buffalo considered one of the best teams in the league, right? We should have beat them twice. We already beat the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
They're considered one of the best teams in the league. We already beat them. We beat the Boston
Y'all
Braves.
beat them,
They're
but y'all
considered
beat
one of
them in the
teams
beginning.
Say it again.
You kind of, I mean, I see what you're saying, but y'all kind of beat the Patriots in the beginning of the year. Like that's when
Nah, they're playing the
things
same
starting to
style of
gel.
game. The Patriots don't change. They the same players, the same one
The
sound.
defense is
one
playing
voice.
better, and Mac is playing better than the first
I'm
game.
gonna say this to you, man.
But Tua and our defense playing better too.
Mac been playing the same way since the beginning of the season. He been making all his reads, pre-snap, everything. He been doing it. They're not giving him more than what he can handle. I'm just being honest. He's good at what he does.
Yeah.
So people need to remember, Tom Brady was a game manager for 8 years, and he won Super Bowls being a game manager, a elite game manager.
Yeah, but that's because the Patriots always had a good defense, and when the defense started falling off,
they didn't always have a good defense.
Yeah, but
so when the pieces started falling off,
top 15 defense every year. They always have a top 15 defense.
One thing I do wonder about Tua is whether or not he's willing to, like, how much of a team player is he in the sense of contracts? Because we know Watson is the kind of guy who wants his money, right? Most quarterbacks in the league are the kind of guy that want their money. Mahomes tried to take kind of a team-friendly deal. The problem is when you're like the NFL MVP, the NFLPA will push you to get a bigger contract because, they want to be able to use that to, leverage things and increase the money and all the stuff players get. So he was under a lot of pressure to take a massive contract. If Tua ends up being in that kind of top 10 range where he's not ever really truly elite and he doesn't have to face that pressure to get a mega contract, do we think Tua is the kind of guy who would take a team-friendly deal in order to allow us to retain maybe, that extra cornerback who's going to cost us $20 million?
No, because
those cornerbacks are going to be gone by then.
I'm just saying, hypothetically.
Nobody takes a pay cut. The only person that has consistently taken a pay cut is Tom Brady.
That's what I'm saying.
Winning Super Bowls versus actually making the most money, which is why he makes most of his money outside of football with all his commercials and investment deals.
That's what I'm saying. Do we think Tua, because Tua obviously loves to play football, we know that. Do we think Tua is the kind of guy who would take a team-friendly deal in order to win more?
No, I don't believe so.
I have a question.
Because look at everybody behind. Okay, if you go pre and post Brady, before Brady, they didn't really take pay cuts, but they took some. Post Brady, no one's taking a pay cut. Nobody.
Yeah, but you can say that, and I get that. As far as if you were just to just roll the dice, the odds that you take a pay cut are super low. I'm saying, into his character, do you think he's the kind of quarterback who would be willing to do so in order to win more? Personally, I think yes, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Mostly just because of family stuff. I know money's important.
But this
nobody's going to say
NFL,
no.
bro.
I'm not going to take the most money.
That's what I'm saying. This is the NFL.
This is a business. This is a
business.
You could,
NFL,
okay,
man.
If I could say, okay, I'm going to pay you $40 million a year, or I'm going to pay you $25 million a year, but I'm going to take that extra 15 and put it in your offensive line so you're less likely to get hurt.
Give me my
Which would you take?
Yeah.
No, he going to go somewhere where they're going to pay him money.
But
they're going to pay him that money.
Let me say this real quick. To me, it's more about guaranteed money. It's not about that fluff contract that you be saying.
Of course.
To me, let me say this to you. If I'm a franchise quarterback and I play for a team, I'm not going to ask for $40 million. If I ask for $40 million, that means you can't put nothing around me. I have to do everything myself.
Exactly my point.
And not everybody has that mindset. Unfortunately.
I know not everybody has that mindset. Well, I'm saying, do we think Tua has that mindset where he's going to be like, look, if I take this much money.
Personally, you can say he does, but I'm going to say this. Do you ever think he's going to be able to work up to be a $40 million contract quarterback?
That's the thing.
I feel as though he's a
$25
to $30 million a year quarterback.
Okay, so that's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah.
if you're in the Mahomes level where you're talking like you are the face of the NFL, the odds that you get that mega contract are huge, even if you don't necessarily want it. Because I know, listening to people who were like not necessarily party to the Mahomes thing, but I know a lot of like Mahomes texted one of his teammates. I think it was it Kelsey or was it Hill? Anyways, texted one of his teammates after his negotiation and said, "I left some on the table for you. Go get some." Right? Essentially saying he wasn't trying to rob the team. He was trying to give them as friendly a deal as he could. But when you're Patrick Mahomes and you're the face of the NFL, you're under a lot of pressure to take that big number contract.
But
I'm saying if Tua is in that $20 to $30 million range, and again, we're using now prices, not inflated prices for when he actually gets his contract. If he's in that kind of $20 million range and he ends up taking on the low side of that in order to give the team more money, to put more weapons around him, to put more weapons on defense and stuff, I think he's the kind of guy who would take that. And to be honest, that does matter when you're evaluating who you want as your quarterback for your team, right?
Not necessarily, Marcus, because first of all, we can't read his mind or where he has his heart or
Obviously.
what he will do.
Yeah,
You can assume all you want, but at the end of the day, it's still a business. And let's say he gets hurt and we're in an Xavier Howard or Devontae Parker type of situation where he's good enough, so we're going to give him a contract, but not good enough for us to make him our
franchise
quarterback. What do you do there? Because at the end of the day, it's a business. So you can want him to take a pay cut, but you don't know his situation and where he's going to be in the next few years, or even now, where he would say, "Okay, I can do it."
Okay.
Or let's say he's a complete
Can I add something to that, Julie?
to be able to make that money. That's just too much of assumption. To be able to try to figure out if he would take a pay cut. Right now, the only thing we should be worried about is, can we make it to the playoffs with him at this time? Can the team make it to the playoffs? Do you think the team can make it to the playoffs based on everything that's happened so far?
Well, that was really more of a that was really more of a hypothetical, because I find it interesting to consider. Obviously, we won't know until the actual contract comes out.
Can I add something to what Jolie said?
Go ahead.
When you're done, bro.
Okay. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh,
go
what
ahead,
I wanted to say was, you guys have to also remember the perception that Grier unfortunately gave to his agent. So, will Tua be the team guy? I do think so. But when it's time to sit down and talk to his friends and family, they're going to say, well, look at Xavier Howard, look at Gesicki, look at Ogba, look at how their front offices is constantly trying to sign and then renegotiate, and then they wanted to trade you mid-season. And then all of these things are going to come into factor. And you already know it. I feel like we understand. We've already pissed off to his camp. Even though they might not come out and say it. I mean, even though his trainer is on Twitter every day saying it, but we've already pissed off his camp. So you don't know what type of energy they're going to bring when it's time to resign. Because
Tua's not
could be.
Even if Tua's lights out for us, he's not coming back. The way we traded him with Deshaun Watson, he's not coming back.
I'm not even gonna say that, but I think
not even. And I would say when Tua got drafted, the first thing he did was buy his mom the biggest Cadillac he could see. So don't think Tua is not a big spender. That's all I'm.
But let me say this real quick, because everybody likes to bring up the Watson thing. The Watson thing is to make this team better. It's about to make the team better. I understand that people like Tua. They were fans of Alabama. They're a fan of Tua.
Exactly.
I understand that. But at the end of the day, it's a business, like Jolie said. The business is winning games and getting better. And what Deshaun Watson will bring to this team, he will bring winning because other players want to play with him. So other top free agents want to come here.
Exactly. Watson wouldn't lose to the Falcons or the Jaguars.
I'm just
saying. Watson, the Texans also got to pay Watson 60% of his contract. So we would get Watson on the back end of his contract, so we're not paying him. That's the better thing about getting Watson. We would only be paying him about half.
You're assuming contract stuff isn't involved in the trade. They may only trade him on the assumption that the team accepts all the cap hit.
I was like, damn.
It don't matter. Even if you paying him 40, y'all got like $100 million in cap space.
Can everybody mute themselves? We have some background noise.
Downstairs, hurry up. I only took a 30-minute lunch today.
I wish I took a 30-minute. Things come from Jerry.
Sure. Sorry about that, y'all.
No worries here. Go ahead, Q.
Bro, somebody else is talking, not me.
No, I was just saying like.
Oh, Gigi, my bad.
No, I was just saying like the Texans going to have to pay most of his contract if we did pay for Watson. I mean, for me, it's like I can only imagine what the team would look like if Watson was on the team. I mean, yeah, we can make the playoffs with Tua now. I feel as though if he keeps playing how he's playing right now, like, cause I'm not going to say I'm a Tua hater. I really don't care, like, if they keep him or not. So me, I just want him to play good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, if he plays like this, I would still trade for Watson just because Watson will elevate the team to a whole nother level. But with him playing right now, well, go ahead.
No, I feel like we played the team he's gonna get traded to if he get traded. The last game.
I mean,
that's just my personal opinion.
Well, the question was, what are we do we make the playoffs right now? Is what the question was. The TDS.
Well, how he's playing right now, he's playing complimentary football. You know, only thing I would change with him, I don't care about that deep pass and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I want scores. Every time the defense get a turnover, I want to score. I want a field goal or a touchdown. That's all I want. Because if you get that, we'll win more games. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, of course you got to consider.
The first half of the season, we had 9 turnovers, and we didn't score not one of them.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Now, some of that I think is just because the team, I don't know, the offense has just been a lot of struggling, mostly because I think of the inexperience on it. So a lot of that missing the opportunities that the defense got us was because just of the general offensive struggles. And that was with Brissett too, for a lot of the early games. So it's not necessarily just a Tua thing.
Yeah.
You also have to consider that we've missed a lot of field goals too. Sanders went from last year being basically Mr. Automatic to all of a sudden, like, you gotta wonder, is he gonna make this one, right? Missing field.
Is he injured?
Yeah, I think that man, something gotta be wrong with him, man. Something gotta be wrong with the guy.
I don't know.
You don't go from that to this.
Exactly.
I think what might be the thing is that he's used to Matt Hawk holding the ball, and maybe the new guy Pilardi, maybe he just holds it a little different, and he's not used to kicking. Like, I don't know. All I know is I saw Ace Ventura, and apparently how you hold the ball really matters. So
it really should bring a kicker in. Laces out. It really does matter. But I mean,
it do.
One thing that I've noticed where I can say we can go and make it to the playoffs is that this is a young team from top to bottom, from coaching to the kicker and holder. It's a super young team. So as a team, we've been growing week by week, even with the slump that we had. And in the last 5 games, and I say 5 games because we almost had that Atlanta game out there and it was said, but besides that one, I mean, we've been steadily growing, and it's been complete team wins. It hasn't been a offensive win or a defensive win or special teams win.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks, even more so, have been complete team wins. So I think based on our schedule and based on how we're doing, that we're doing it all together, it's why I say that we could definitely go a week at a time and make it through.
And I think we have to win out though.
Yeah. Okay. So if we win out,
because we need teams to lose, and by the looks of it, they're not going to lose. Maybe the Browns.
Well,
we'll make it.
Here's the thing. If
we wait, Marcus.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Greg.
No, I'm just saying we're not going to make it because we need teams to lose. They're not going to lose. Like the Patriots, they're not going to lose. I don't think. I mean, we're going to beat them if we have to, but.
The Patriots and the Bills are playing, and right now in the last 5 weeks, all AFC is playing against AFC teams.
The only teams that I think we could beat would be like, or teams that would lose that would help us would be like the Broncos, the Colts, and the Browns. You know what I'm saying? Because like
The
The
Bengals
Browns
might
gonna be
lose too.
losing, man.
There's
dude, the Bengals.
there's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams who could win and could lose. The problem is that even if we run the table and we decisively defeat all of our opponents, go 10-7, there's still a chance that enough teams go 10-7 or even 11-6
Right.
that we may just miss out because everybody seems to be doing really well this year, which is weird. Again, like last year, went 10-6 and still missed the playoffs, which was annoying. But I mean,
No, not at all, Marcus. If you look at it, the AFC is completely open. There's no one team or two teams that are at the top. And at the bottom, everybody's only a game or two away. So you can't say that everybody's good when everybody's only literally one or two games between the fourth seed all the way down to the 12th seed. They're all the same. They're only one game away.
Yeah, we behind one game from everybody
no,
else.
we're behind like a game and a half, which is essentially 2 games. Let me see here, because if we, how many of you guys have
I think that would be possible.
It's
possible. The problem is we need multiple teams to lose, right?
I know
kind
we
of the
definitely
thing.
need the Colts to lose because the Colts hold that tiebreaker against us. That Colts loss definitely gonna hurt us in the long run.
Which I said the Colts game was going to be the one that makes or breaks us. And I said that at the beginning of the season because of exactly the situation I thought we would be in right now, where those first games are the ones that are overlooked that really make the difference when you're trying to make that playoff push at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we lost a couple games that we should have won that could have probably put us in contentions even more.
Well, yeah, but the ones that we lost to AFC teams. So even if we win the conference, we're already behind the 8 ball because of that.
Yeah, you got to win. You got to win those conference games, man. So
I'm looking at these standings right now. If we're talking about winning out, and making the playoffs here, I'm looking at the AFC West first. The Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders, and Broncos. I believe they all got to play each other either once or twice.
Yep.
And then the North, you're looking at the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns. I believe they got to play either all of them got to play twice or once. And then the Titans and the Colts. I mean, those are only 2 realistic, but I think we probably need the Colts to lose outside of the Titans. Maybe the Titans can lose, but whatever.
Well, that's why I say right now at the end of the season, this last 5 games or weeks, they're the ones that are going to determine the AFC because everybody's too close from number 4 to number 12, 13, and they're playing against each other, so they're gonna beat each other. There's not gonna be sweeps, that many sweeps in the AFC in the last few games.
Yeah.
So that will be what will get us to actually make it to the playoff if we obviously win out.
Yeah.
So Buffalo could easily end up going 10-7, and if they do, they have the tiebreaker over us, right?
Yeah.
Vegas could easily end up going because they're 6-5 right now, and I don't think they're going to do exceptionally well down the stretch, but they could easily pick up another 4 wins and go 10-7, and then I believe they have the tiebreaker over us, or they have better conference record.
They have a tiebreaker over us because they beat us head to head.
They have both conference and tiebreaker. But
yeah, right, because we lost.
I don't think that Raiders have it to be able to make it. I really do think they're going to go 9-8 because they just don't have enough with all the situations that's happening in their team.
Okay. Even if Vegas doesn't necessarily do that, both Vegas and both Vegas and Los Angeles have a chance to end up being 10-7, and Denver also has a chance of being 10-7. I don't think Denver is gonna go. I think Denver might end up even finishing with a losing record, but you've got 2 teams who are in contention there. You've got 2 teams above us in our own division, and you've got Cincinnati, right? So the AFC North, which could potentially have one of those teams sneak in there, right? And I don't really think the Colts. I don't really think we have to worry about the AFC South. I'll be honest with you. I don't think the Colts are really in a position to push for that final spot. But we're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5 teams who are in competition with us for a wild card spot. Not even talking about like division winners. If you just count the wild card competition, And we need each of those teams to lose multiple games in order for, or we need at least a couple of those teams to lose multiple games for us to get in, even if we win out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as
So
long
that's
as we have, if you look at the division, as long as Bills and Patriots split, it gives us a better chance because we already have the tiebreaker with the Patriots. If we come in and spin out and we beat them,
well, okay.
we'll
Best
be
case
able to go
scenario
ahead.
is actually the Bills overtake the Patriots.
Of course,
Yeah.
that would be the best scenario. But if we're being realistic, come on, it's
Yeah, if the
The way
Bills
the
sweep the
Patriots
Patriots,
playing, I don't know.
I think they'll split. I don't think that they're gonna get swept by Buffalo, especially since Buffalo's losing to these teams the way that they are. I don't even know what's happening with Buffalo.
I
think Pittsburgh going to
about
sweep
Buffalo real quick.
Josh Allen, the bum.
That is, I'm gonna say he's not a bum. He's not a
music.
bum. He throws 6 errant passes a game. If you capitalize on 2 of those, they lose the game. Every game, if you watch him play, he throws 6 to 5 inaccurate passes every game, bro. You just gotta watch him.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of the game, his confidence is low because he's not completing passes like he wants to. Once he builds up his confidence, it's hard to beat them. If you ever notice that, when his confidence is low, you hitting him. Oh my God, he's trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, I think, really up to the bulk of the offense versus the Patriots defense, and I'm just saying, if the Patriots end up getting swept by the Bills, which I don't think is gonna happen, but it's possible. If that happens and we beat them in Week 17, we're ahead of them, right? The Patriots are not going to get a slot because we've got. What'd you say?
Would that put us ahead of them?
Yeah, because if they lose 2 to the Bills and lose 1 to us, that puts them at 10-7. And so we'd have the same record, and we'd have the tiebreaker over them because we beat them twice.
Yeah, because we beat them. Yeah, we swept them. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I mean,
but that would be a lot of pressure on the team because the team
don't they have 8 wins right now?
What?
How many wins does the Patriot have right now? 8, right?
They're 8-4.
Yeah.
So what you just said was 3 more wins, I thought.
No, 3 more losses.
Yeah, 3 more losses.
So
if I said wins, that was a mistake.
Who would they lose to?
They could lose to Buffalo and then to us.
Buffalo twice?
If Buffalo sweeps them, and then, or if Buffalo splits with them and they lose one of the other games down the stretch, who knows what that game that could be. But it's possible. I would say the best case scenario for us making the playoffs is Buffalo to sweep the Patriots, win the division, and then us beat them in
Week 17.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like to be a Debbie Downer, but it just sounds we just banking on too much I don't know.
I mean, we shot ourselves in the foot by losing 7 straight. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
And Jacoby Brissett
losing to Atlanta, losing to
get 1 game. So not getting 1 game from Jacoby really hurt us.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you look at it, just 1 game, right? If we just win 1 of those games that we should have won, we're in a much better position now because we could finish the year 11-6, which, like, just based on like win percentage and stuff, puts us pretty comfortably as like the 5th or the 6th seed.
Yeah, but right now we're not there, so.
Oh yeah, that's.
Yeah, because we're here, I don't think that the Bills are gonna sweep. Not with the way they're playing right now. Patriots are in an upward trajectory, and the Bills are kind of stagnant. So I think they'll split. They'll each win their own respective home game, which leads us to what other game can the Patriots lose, so that way we can go ahead and win out. And
I'll tell you right now, the Patriots have an easy schedule outside of the Bills and us. They have a pretty easy schedule. They face Jacksonville, right? I think they even have a bye.
They face the Colts.
Yeah, they face Jacksonville. They face the Colts, which I don't think the Colts are going to beat the Patriots.
I think they can.
They can.
I think they can.
Well, we needed Tennessee to beat them. Tennessee just folded. So the Colts is our last resort for them to get that extra loss. They're going to beat the Jaguars. So.
But you know, Bill Belichick is not going to let Jonathan Taylor run all over him. So Carson Wentz is going to have to pass the ball And Carson Wentz passing the ball, I don't like their probability to win.
The last two games
He's
he's
actually been winning because of his passing though.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said what?
The last
They
couple
have been
weeks
winning
he's
because of his passing. Taylor hasn't really popped off till the last maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks max. But the other wins
Has
that they
anybody really passed on the Patriots?
Wait, what?
Has anybody?
Yeah, what
really
is the
passed
passing
on the
defense of the
Patriots?
Patriots?
No, I'm saying like people are not really passing on the Patriots. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh,
I
no.
don't think Carson Wentz is really going to pit a game together because that's why Philly got rid of him. Because when he was over at Philly, he was playing horrible. Like, I was watching games because I live in Philly. He plays horrible. Like, he's not that guy that's gonna pass the ball all over
he's
on
still
Belichick.
hurt. To me, that's the issue. If you see
I
how
don't
he
think
plays,
he's hurt.
trust me. He's still hurt. He's still hurt.
Well, Gigi,
I mean, listen, playing hurt or not, you still gonna have to perform if you're out there.
But he has been performing the last 3 weeks. You got to get him in his credit.
Okay.
If you want to give him credit, you got to give him credit.
Well, Gigi, because I know
I'm
that
not
this
giving
is
to a credit.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about everybody else.
No worries.
no with you, Gigi. What do you think we need to do besides winning out? Because that's obvious. That what other scenario would actually put us in if you're saying that you don't think that the Patriots are going to lose that game?
Pray.
Yeah, that's all you can do at that point.
Listen, you gotta pray. You gotta pray and hope the Patriots beat everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's be real here. The Chiefs are probably going to win the AFC West, right?
Right.
Which means we're in competition with Los Angeles and Las Vegas, who are both 2 wins ahead of us, or they have a bye week, so they're like 1.5 wins ahead of us, but they've got 2 less losses, right? So we need them both to lose 3 times. Actually, no. Las Vegas needs to lose 3 times. And did we play the Chargers this year?
No.
Okay. We might be able to pick it up over the... Yeah.
So I believe the Raiders and Chargers have to play each other once. So I think best case scenario is they both split. And then they play the Broncos once each.
The problem is there's a scenario in which both of those teams go 10-7. And if that's the case, it looks like they beat us out, I think, just on conference wins. Yeah, because I think they lost mostly
and
to
they both
NFC
have our
games.
tiebreaker. That's fine.
Chargers don't have a tiebreaker on us.
Not Chargers, sorry, but Vegas does.
Vegas does, yeah. So we would need Vegas to lose 3 games.
I mean, you will also have to count
play the Giants next.
schedule.
The Giants, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's an NFC game. So we still got to win this one, but
do we win this one?
Let me see.
That's my next question.
Okay,
we should if we continue to play the way we've been playing.
So give me the keys then, music. Give me the keys as to what are the top 3 things we need to do this next game against the Giants then. And then I'll go around the panel.
Well, defense just got to continue to do what they do. Continue to ball out, continue to put Tua in not so tough situations, and continue to play complementary football, right? You know, special teams back off defense, offense back off defense. You know, so just continue to do what we've been doing.
What about you, Jeremy? What do you think the top 3 things we need to do next game to win it out? You muted.
I don't think he heard you.
I don't think you heard me. Hello? Okay, what about you, Greg? You there, Greg?
Yeah, what's up?
What are the 3 things we need to do next game against the Giants to win?
No turnovers. Actually, I'll say this. No mistakes. Run the ball effectively all over that Giants defense.
Yeah, definitely.
And make Daniel Jones feel uncomfortable because Daniel Jones fumbles the ball, throws picks. Just make him uncomfortable. Make him in situations he turns the ball over.
Okay, I can see that. How about you, Q?
Keep playing that defense, man. That's all I can say. Because we keep playing that defense. Daniel Jones is not he's not a bad quarterback, but he ain't good. So I'm sorry.
Where would you rank
been...
the people that we played against so far?
Say it again.
Where would you rank Daniel Jones against the QBs we faced so far?
I'll say he's top. He's like 28. He's very low.
We would only face like 11 QBs.
I'm just saying he's low.
Is he better than Joe Flacco? Is the question.
To me, I'm gonna say this: if he was in a better situation, he could be better than Flacco.
Okay.
I'm just being honest. If he was in a better situation, he never had.
I don't think so.
That's why I feel
he got weapons around him.
He got weapons, but he has wide receivers. The running game is non-existent.
Yeah.
Well, Gigi, what about you? What do we need to do to win next game?
To win this game, I think the defense is going to have to keep playing how they're playing, and the offense is going to have to capitalize. I mean, if the offense can't capitalize, then, I mean,
we're in for a long day.
It's not really going to get far because, I mean, the defense is really what's been saving the team with all these takeaways and stuff. So I feel as though we get takeaways. Tua don't make no dumb mistakes. Because I'm pretty sure with Daniel Jones, I don't believe in him. So I think we can get some fumbles, interceptions. Because Daniel Jones he has a couple mistakes each game. So with that, the defense going to have to capitalize and the offense going to have to capitalize. And Tua need to get Waddle the ball. That's all he got to do. Get Waddle the ball and let him work his magic.
Agreed.
How about you, Mark?
All right, guys. I'll see you guys later. Have fins up.
Have a good day.
Bye, Greg.
See ya.
All right. So who are you talking to?
Marcus. What do you think we need? The top 3 things we need for next week or this week coming up.
So, honestly, I think we need to find a way to get Gesicki or Waddle the ball. Like whoever the defense decides to double, and it's probably going to be Gesicki, but it might end up being Waddle. Who knows? Pick the guy they aren't doubling and feed that person the ball.
Yeah, let it fly.
And also, I think we need to get, honestly, I think we need to get Lindsey more involved in the run game. We saw how much production he had when he had like a week to learn the system.
Yeah, he brought a difference to the run game, man.
Runner.
I loved what I saw from Philip Lindsay. Just the aggression and I'm just going to take this ball and I'm just going to run my body into yours and see if I get the first down. Right. I loved that attitude that he brought.
With blocking too.
Yeah,
a lot of people ain't talking about his blocking. His pass blocking is pretty good.
I had him in fantasy the first year he got into the league. Once I saw him run the ball a couple of times, I said, yeah, I'm picking him up, and he carried my team. All they got to do is give him some quick screens because the run game is not really going to work. Get him some screens out in the open. Let him get in the open field and let him work because he's too fast, too much agility. He's shifty. He's just too quick for defenses. So get some blockers out there. Send Robert Hunt because he could put on some moves. So put him out. Have him run the screen.
Actually, how about we just do this? How about we just put Lindsey on the O-line and make Robert Hunt the running back?
There you go.
Hey, we seen a lot more touchdowns. Ain't nobody stopping that big boy.
But I'm not tagging him.
But yeah, no, I think we need to get Lindsey more involved in the offense. I think we need to boost up Gesicki or Waddle, whichever one the defense kind of lets hang. And I think we just need to confuse and pressure the absolute word out of Jones. I think we need to make him see ghosts all over again, right? We need to make him see the whole dang haunted house. Right. And I don't think that's going to be too hard for this defense. I think we're going to be able to get Jones into enough uncomfortable situations that he's going to make mistakes and we'll be able to capitalize on that. And like I said, if we can get Lindsey and either Gesicki or Waddle more involved in the offense, I think we've got a good chance of winning this game.
Well, I mean, I'm not really scared about Daniel Jones and his throwing ability, so I don't think we have to go so cover zero the whole game.
Oh, I'm not saying go cover zero. I'm talking about... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I like how we did it this last game where we still brought the pressure in. We did some zero, but we were able to still bring the pressure in, but not all the time. We were able to kind of mix it up and contain the
Yeah.
quarterback. So I like that type. I don't think that we have to go too hard in the defense, but again, it's any given Sunday, so you don't want to take anybody lightly. Um,
Right.
Personally, I do have to say that because I don't see them having any running game at all, we should have a really good defensive game overall, period. In
Mm-hmm.
the air and on the ground. As far as our offense, I do agree that we need to involve Gesicki more. I think, and people aren't saying it, but he's getting double, triple teamed, and that's why you guys aren't seeing that production like you did before. Well, now that
Def-
Yeah.
Waddle is stepping out, Waddle's going to get double teamed. You're going to need an outlet again, and your biggest target is still Gesicki.
Mm-hmm.
So
mm-hmm.
we need to involve him. And I loved Lindsay. I said it while I was watching the game. Here is our 1-2 punch. I don't know why
Mm-hmm.
Gas can't get through these holes like Lindsay. I mean, it felt like Lindsay
Well,
was finding holes where holes weren't even there.
here's
So
the thing.
But see, look, a
He's
lot of
just a
people.
stronger. He's a stronger running back
No, I think it's up
overall.
to. I think it's more mentality. I think when Lindsay sees a hole, he hits the hole and falls forward, which is a huge thing. Gaskins tries to make plays, which I mean I love, but also sometimes it's like, dude, just take the 3 yards, man. Right?
Right.
Gaskins
yeah,
likes to try and wait to see if a better hole opens up. Gaskins likes to try and move to find a better position. Lindsay is more straightforward. I'm just gonna hit the hole, right?
well, yes, I give you that. I actually think I'm excited for a running core because if you think about it, I think Ahmed is better on the edges.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
need to continue that because that's what allows it to not put as much pressure in the center. Let's say if we have to do like QB sneak or even if we're running the RPO or whatever. But with Lindsay now, we actually have somebody that can get through the middle. And that's what we were missing with Gaskin because Gaskin, unfortunately,
I'll,
he would always hit a wall every single time. And I'm just not understanding why this man
I
couldn't
Can
just
mean,
I ask a
I'm
question?
gonna be
also,
Can I
honest.
ask a question?
go
Can I
ahead,
ask
Jerry.
the panel a quick question?
Go ahead,
I,
Jerry.
I want everybody to answer this. Do you guys think because all of this talk about the running backs and we all agree that we run by committee, right?
Committee. Yeah.
Everybody. Do you guys
Mhm.
think if we had a Jonathan Taylor, like all the fans wanted to get, or if we wouldn't have got Najee, or if Lindsey turns out to be the Lindsey from 2 years ago that put up 1,000 yards, do you think that this team would still keep that running back by committee philosophy, or would they say, "Hey, this is our guy for 3 downs, and then we'll bring in somebody on the 4"?
I think they
Well,
would.
yeah.
I really do think they would because the thing is, you don't want to be one sided like the Titans, where it's like it's only Derrick Henry or bust. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I still think they
I
would
don't
do
agree with that, Jolie.
what?
I don't agree with that. But it's
Okay,
okay.
yeah,
tell
because
me
I
why.
think,
Why not?
I
Yeah.
think
If
they
you
need to
that
just
guy, if
feed
you
one
that
person the
dude, you that
ball.
dude. Yeah. If you that dude, you that
You're
dude.
not
So I
just
don't
gonna
see why
sit
you're
Mike
not giving the
Wallace,
ball.
and
I'm gonna
then
say this:
me,
if
me
you have
at
a
running
running
back.
back with that kind of talent, yes, you can do certain things. But if you look at the Titans, they built their team around
Well, Derrick Henry. Yeah. Anyway,
three
so
players. They got Tannehill, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown. AJ, he can't stay on the field. He drops passes, right? Whatever. You got Julio Jones. He can't stay healthy. I don't want to. I don't want to build a team, and we already got injury-prone wide receivers. I don't want
Mhm.
that. I don't want that. This is what I want. I want 3 running backs. Your starting running back, your bell cow, who could do all things. You want a small, speedy guy, and your third back can do both of the things that your
right.
the speed guy and your power guy can do. That's what I like to see. When I see receivers, when I build a team with receivers, I want a fast guy, a possession guy, and a guy who can get over the top or do some special things in space. That's what you need when you build a
So
team.
how is that not by committee, Q?
It's not by committee. Come on, okay. Look at the Colts. The Colts have 3 running backs, and what you call it gets the bulk of the carries, right? But Mac and the other guy, Mac is a betweener between him and the other guy. And the other guy's a fast guy, right? Am I right or wrong, Julie?
I mean, they all. I mean,
They all complement
Naeem
each other
Hines-
because they
Naeem-
all have
Yeah,
ability.
yeah.
They all
My,
complement
Naeem
each other.
Hines
That's
is
what I
more of a
want.
fast receiver back.
Yeah,
Jonathan Taylor can do it all.
he can do it all.
And
He's the bell
Marlon Mack
cow.
is more like an exclusive back. Like
Yes.
he elusive.
Yeah,
Like
I would
he
agree
comes
with
That's
that.
in
what
when
I want.
everybody's tired.
I don't want. We have 3 small guys. I don't.
But
want
they don't
that.
they don't use Marlon Mack no more. They were trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, I know. But
Also, part of the problem is here that I believe it's Ahmed who's the better pass blocker, right? So usually when he's in, it's a pass blocking scenario, and because Gaskin isn't as good a pass blocker, he's in more on the run plays.
But if
And
you watch
so
last game, they had help with the tight end, helping him with the pass blocking. They had Smythe in the game helping pass blocking a few times. I saw yesterday or on Sunday.
yeah,
If you
right.
rewatch the game, you'll see it.
Yeah,
Now,
Lincoln definitely has some good blocks.
I may be a little off on this, but I've noticed, and again, like I said, could be off. I've noticed that you tend to get personnel decisions which cue the defense into what we're trying
what's
to
going
do.
on?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and to me, that's one issue. But okay, in the last 2 weeks, they try to keep Gesicki on the field when they run the ball.
Right.
They're not running to his side. And the defense know that.
Yeah.
To his side. And Gesicki can't even do a wham block. They had to use a wide receiver to do that in the last game. You understand? They had to use Preston Williamson.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. If Gesicki doesn't get re-signed by this team, which I think they should, but if Gesicki doesn't get re-signed, it's the blocking I think that's gonna really be the issue, because just not being able to really rely on him in the run blocking is.
No, but you can't necessarily say that because he's a weapon.
He's a super weapon.
Yeah, he a mismatch nightmare, man.
I'm not
tight end.
saying. I'm not saying we shouldn't sign him. I want the guy back. I'm just saying if we don't, that might be one of the reasons the team uses to justify it.
People used to get. I used to say this at work all. I like Smythe more than I like Gesicki.
Me too, man.
Smythe is
But that's probably what they're saying.
Smythe had a good game last game too. Y'all might look out and find Smythe be number one.
I know Gesicki gives you the big plays, the wild plays, the one-hand catches and stuff like that.
But Smythe get the dirty work, man. He doing the dirty work, man.
He's doing the dirty work and he's going to do something for you.
You saw that one.
Smythe be number one on the depth chart.
You saw that one first down he got where he broke like 3 tackles just to get 4 yards and was like,
"Yeah, man,
save that touchdown."
He a dude,
Do you
man.
guys remember what Mike Gesicki said to the announcers when we played the Ravens? I think it was the Ravens, where they said, "Hey, man, you're a great tight end." And he said, "I'm not a tight end. I'm a receiver." So even Smythe does everything that a tight end
that you want a tight end want to do.
The problem with that
is, I am a receiver, bro. I am not a tight end.
Yeah, the problem with that is that receivers get paid more money, and so if he does end up pushing for,
get paid more money, he's going to get paid $9 to $8 million a year if he goes as a receiver because he doesn't have great receiving stats.
Yeah,
he's an 800-yard receiving a year tight end. But if you want to say he's a receiver, that is bottom of the barrel money. That is $9 million to $8 million a year.
Yeah,
he's getting the Devontae Parker contract.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm worried about is if he tries to push this like, man, I'm a top receiver.
No, he's not.
You know, that could easily end up tanking negotiations.
He's not.
And the team he is.
Yo, the team he is, yeah, but in the free agent market, you know.
Well, this is the thing, and I said this before about Gesicki. He is our Kelsey, because if you look at him, and I looked this up, Kelsey and who's the number one highest paid tight end?
Kelsey can block.
Kelsey and Kittle.
Kelsey can't block.
Yeah, Kittle. It'll be Kelsey and Kittle
Kelsey
right now.
Can block.
Okay.
No,
yeah,
Kelsey can block.
Kelsey can block. Kelsey can block.
But he doesn't do it that often. He's mostly
one of his most favorite plays is that little rub block that
Kittle
he does.
is the best tight end in the league. People need to stop that cap. He's the best tight end in the league. He can do everything.
Kittle. He said Kittle.
Kittle is the best.
Oh yeah, well, which is why he has the number one contract, the largest contract right now. But if you look at it when it comes to weapon, who is more? You take away Kelsey from the Chiefs. what happens to the Chiefs?
They're gonna have the little short guy running.
They gonna be all right.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be all
It's true. It's true.
Andy
That's what
Reid.
happened.
Andy Reid is a good enough offensive mind to come up with something.
Yeah,
if he does
they'll figure
I mean,
something out.
That's one of the best
put it this
offensive
way.
minds in the league.
You'd be running your Ferrari with one slightly bald tire, right?
Right. It's still a go. It'll still go though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
you
they'd
still
be
got-
worse off,
you still
but
got all the
You're gonna
weapons, and
wobble
you
a
still
little
got
bit, but
Patrick
you're gonna
Mahomes.
ride.
That's right.
my
Well,
concern.
where was Patrick Mahomes the last 3 weeks that they lost in a row? Where was
Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes can't read defenses. That's his problem.
I mean,
My
that's- no,
my
his
concern with
problem is-
trying to pay.
He
Not
can't
Patrick
settle for the
Mahomes.
short
So where was
passes.
Patrick Mahomes? If you want to use that,
I'm not going to talk about Patrick Mahomes. The last time I said something about Patrick Mahomes, somebody cussed me out. So I'm not going to say
Okay,
anything.
so here's my problem with Gesicki currently. I want to keep the guy. I think he's one of the best weapons on our team, and without Gesicki, we literally only have Waddle and sometimes Mac Hollins, right? So we really need that second hit, because if we didn't have Gesicki, they'd just be double teaming Waddle, and then we would get nothing on offense.
But you don't know.
Right.
You don't know what we could get in free agency.
I mean,
Or
okay,
in the
true,
draft.
fair enough, but I'm
We
saying
need two
as
number
the team
ones.
sits-
We need two number
As
ones.
of right now, he's still. As of right now, he's
Not
still
technically.
on the
You don't need
roster,
two
so
number
you
ones
don't really
for
have to
Tua.
worry about it. After
You don't
this
need-
year,
that's
Yeah,
what
you
I'm.
do. Mostly every team in the NFL has got at least two number ones.
That's not true. Every
Not
team
true at
has
all.
one good wide receiver. And rest
One good wide receiver.
complimentary.
They got
ain't
good
no
complementary wide receivers. They got at least two to three wide receivers that can beat you at any given time.
okay, who does the Bill have?
All
Yeah,
of the
but
good
we
teams.
don't- but
All of the
who
good
do we
teams
got?
have that.
That's not true.
Who
That's
does the
not
Bill
true.
have right now?
All of the teams that's contending for a Super Bowl have at least two wide receivers that can go get it.
Who are the?
At minimum.
I was gonna say, who are the
What about the
Patriots
Patriots?
receivers?
The Bills got Diggs and Cole.
Patriots
Beasley.
receivers. I ain't
but
talking about the
you're
Patriots.
saying
They not gonna be
Baltimore-
when it's all said and done. They won't be in it.
Ones, come on. They're number
Oh,
3
that's-
on most
yeah,
people.
yeah,
The
okay,
system just
that's
works
crazy.
for the Pats.
Who's Baltimore's two receivers?
Yeah,
Baltimore don't
Bateman
got no
and Brown.
receivers.
Yes, they do. Hollywood Brown and what's his name that they just drafted?
Yeah, they're not.
The guy they just drafted,
they're not
Bateman.
alpha male
He's not a number one.
Bateman.
Bateman and Hollywood
Bateman and
Brown.
Hollywood Brown. They can go get it.
No, they can't. They're
Bateman is
not
not a number
ones.
one receiver.
Who are the
Yes, he
Packers'
is.
two receivers?
Bateman is.
Not
Browns
talking
have
to
a
each other.
Bateman is not.
Nah, you
Alaire
still-
and freaking
Marquise Brown
Marcus,
is.
he
don't say
can.
that.
You still
Marcus,
got
don't say
Randall
that.
Cobb and Devontae Adams over there.
Packers
with
have-
the Packers.
Devontae Adams and
Yeah, don't say that,
Alaire.
Marcus.
And you still got Lazard.
I
over
was
there.
just asking because I know about Adams because Adams is like the famous one, but do they
Yeah,
have
but
like
wide receiver one of the league.
Randall
You
Cobb.
don't
Randall
need
Cobb
wide
came
receiver
back
ones
too.
when you got
Cobb?
Aaron Rodgers. When you got Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers,
you got
don't
Cobb
make
still.
anybody-
Exactly. He can go get
They're
it.
not alpha
Oh,
male.
yeah.
They're saying number
That
ones.
too.
Those are
They second wide
When
receiver is
you-
better
when you
than
got-
our
when you
second
got
through
Aaron
fourth
Rodgers,
wide
Aaron-
receivers.
When you got Aaron
Put it like
Rodgers,
that.
anybody could be a number one.
Everybody's playoff second best wide receiver is better than our second through fourth.
That's not true. That's not true.
no?
And Tua's
Yes.
still winning with
But
that.
can I-
Oh,
I think
so with
Waddle-
Devontae-
Waddle was in the
with
Waddle's a
Devontae Parker on that field, man. He another
Waddle was
monster,
one.
number
man.
one.
When he's on the
Waddle was
field.
number one.
I'm
Yeah,
just
when he's
being
on the
honest.
field, but I'm just saying, he just said period.
It's-
But when
I'm gonna say
Devontae Parker on the
Lord,
field,
man.
man, he a monster, man.
Yes.
I think Parker, if we had a 100% fully healthy Parker, yeah, but we don't, so we can't count on that. Waddle right now is our number one, and he's playing like a solid number two. You know?
No,
I mean, he just got to
Well,
get
why
the
is that, Marcus? Why
What?
is that? Why is he
Um,
solid number two?
I think the issue is more that he's. Oh, we just
QB
got
play. It's
got
the
master in
QB
the work
play.
in the chat. But yeah, no. We've got
Patriots
If we had
suck.
better QB, it'd be better.
no. I think what the issue is.
Better
Waddle's,
QB, we'd be better. That's a horrible analysis.
Waddle is
How was that? a
trying
horrible
to.
analysis?
Hold on. How's that a horrible analysis?
Hold on,
over
guys.
the
Let
last
Marcus
month-
talk.
over the last
Let
Yeah,
Marcus
hold on.
finish.
Yeah, let Marcus finish. Let Marcus
Let
finish.
Marcus
Point.
finish his point, guys, and then you guys can argue.
I think the issue with Waddle being more of a number two is that he's trying to essentially be every receiver at once because he's doing his best to support the team. and what they're asking of him isn't necessarily what he's best at, but he's still trying to do it, right? Because he's not a jump ball guy, but like if the play calls for it, like with that one time, that one pass from Tua, right? He jumped up and kind of got it and held it through the contact with the other guy who basically dragged him to the ground. So I think the issue is really more that like Waddle's just not able to play in his lane. So he's not able to really put up the kind of numbers that we would like to see from a number one. But I don't think he's far off from that number one status.
He can't put numbers like a number one because they're not calling the right play calls. In the beginning of the half of the season, the quarterback wasn't getting the ball.
Yeah, they're doing what he's asked to be done. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, but y'all can't say he's not a number one wide receiver if they got
no,
he's
our
number
one
wide receiver, but in this offense he can't be because he has to be our possession Landry type guy just because of how poorly the offense was built.
Can I say something about Waddle though?
Feed him the ball.
Can I say something about Waddle?
That's what they've been doing.
Go ahead.
Exactly, but you can't say he's not a number one receiver if nobody can stick him.
What I was saying about Waddle is to Marcus.
Waddle is a true number one receiver. That's what we're drilling them to.
Jerry, would you like to speak?
But what I was saying was the thing I appreciate. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so what I was saying is what I appreciate about Waddle is Waddle understands I'm a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. So I can't just be the guy like I'm just gonna blow past my defender because I'm 4.2 speed or whatever people say he has. Yeah. Waddle is trying to expand his game. What did we say about Waddle when he first started like the first 5 games? You're dropping it all the time. Ever since, we have rarely seen this guy drop a ball. What do we say? Waddle, you're not the out jump your defender guy. And then he tries to, every single game he tries to out jump his defender. Yeah, and I think there was a pass on the last game where he was between the safety and the corner. He went up and got it. Okay. Waddle himself says it after the game. Tua is getting better. I have to get better as well. So I understand what you're saying. He plays outside of his realm, but that's kind of the growing pains of being a rookie and understanding. These guys use a top. What do we use? A 6 pick on him? These guys use a top 10 pick on me. I can't just be a one-trick pony. I have to be. I'm probably gonna be wide receiver one of this team in the next 2 to 3 years. I have to play it and act like it.
Well, you also got to realize too that
not in the next 2 years. It's gonna be immediately.
Yeah, he's the number one receiver now.
Our offensive line.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to hurt the feelings of the DVP fans. That's why I said the next 2 years. Because we still got DVP.
No, Devontae Parker is not reliable.
No, Devontae Parker's trash now.
Listen,
I've been out on him since 2018. I've been the only one in this fan base been out on him since the Flores regime even started.
Listen, I am too, but some people still think he's gonna give us 1,000-yard season one day.
That mythical 1,000-yard season.
I don't know.
Yeah, that mythical 1,000-yard season. I get it.
Let me say something real quick, man. If Parker played on a different team,
that's it. He's just not available.
We'll have a different perspective on him.
If Ann and Bus was a cans of nuts, we will all be squirrels.
If Parker were on the field every game playing to his full potential, he'd have 1,000-yard season every single year, but he's not.
Okay, I got a question for the panel real quick.
When he plays, he hasn't played.
80% Parker on the field going to take the best corner every time. Every single time.
No.
Sometimes
I don't even buy it. He has no separation
sometimes he
speed.
double too, man.
10% of the time every year. So what do you expect him to do?
He can't make no separation.
Look, I still remember back in
receiver who can't run good routes to get enough separation to get open.
I still remember back in 2019 when Parker just destroyed Gilmore in that game.
Are we still living off that fantasy of him destroying Gilmore once out of a 7 years out of body experience? Out of every 7-year out of body experiences, we've been basing our hopes and dreams off an out of body experience once out of 7 years. Are we doing that?
Because I hadn't finished my point. I didn't finish my point. What I was going to say was I still remember that moment, and it was glorious. But
That's becoming so far removed from that point.
That
It's 2021.
one moment does not make a whole career, and we can't continue to keep him because he did have that one great game or that one great season. The fact of the matter is that is the only season he's had where he did not miss a significant chunk of playing time due to one injury or another.
Right, he showed out. That
was my point.
Available.
Yes, I'm done with that dream, and it has died. It's over.
I'm begging him being a help for this team. That's all I look at it as.
He can't help if he's not available.
You're going to constantly be disappointed if you banking on that. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. In this disappointment. You ever saw the movie Groundhog Day when he just kept stepping in the same hole? Try stop stepping in the same hole and live another day. February 3rd. Try live to February 3rd.
Wait, guys, I have a question for the panel real quick. Hold on, Marcus. Hold on.
Go ahead, Jolie.
Thank you. Music. I don't even know what to call you. Creeth?
Arkeith.
Arkeith? I'm going to just go with music because it's easier to read. But listen, what about our draft pick? Because I posed this question before. What do you guys consider Grier's grade as a pick for 2021? Because I remember a few weeks ago hearing everybody talk about Grier needs to get fired, these draft picks, blah, 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 blah. So what's up about these draft picks, and what do we think now about Grier? Should he get fired?
They need to just not draft linemen, go get linemen in free agency, and draft everything else, because everything else seems to work out.
Arkeith, you want to go take this real quick?
Well, in the beginning of the season, man, I was one of the people that was pretty much ragging on all the picks. As far as Jalen Phillips, right? Jalen Phillips, like he wasn't gonna be nothing. Javon Holland, Javon Holland wasn't looking good. Austin Jackson, all these guys that he done picked, they wasn't looking as what we thought they would be. But
because you got a pass rusher dropping back in coverage. He's a pass rusher.
Exactly. But even now,
so he's going to look bad when you're not playing your position.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what I'm saying. Like now you have to reevaluate, right? Because you talking about two rookies that's possibly in the defensive Rookie of the Year campaign.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you got a person all his college career.
We'll actually have 3 rookies in that conversation by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Right.
Who?
Yeah. And Waddle. Waddle too. Waddle will be offensive rookie of the year, right?
Yeah.
Nah, he's not doing enough. I think Mac Jones running away with it.
I'm just saying he's in that conversation though. He's in that conversation. You can't deny that. He's in that conversation.
He gonna have to put a lot more numbers.
I think he's third place. I think he's third place behind Jones and Chase.
I don't know. The numbers Chase put up.
Have you seen Chase the last 4 weeks?
Jones is playing up.
It's more about narrative, man. It's more about narrative than actual play on the field.
Right.
Yeah, but he hasn't done
it. If we make it to the playoffs, he gets 100 over 101 catches and that's over 1,000 yards. He's winning. There's no way he loses. If we make it to the playoffs,
we said the same thing about Flores, Jolie. We said the same thing about Flores, remember?
Except that last game of the season, I think is what killed his chances.
I really don't even care about. I care about winning. Who cares about awards? They don't get you nowhere. I care about winning.
That's true.
Can I answer Jolie's question though? But that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to answer the Jolie question. I don't think I don't think you have to fire Grier because now it looks like his draft picks are hitting. So you have to sit there and let them at least let these guys play out another 2 or 3 years.
So. Okay, was that your point?
Okay.
Yeah, that's my point. You know what I'm saying? You just got to let these guys play out because the trajectory that Holland and Phillips and all these other guys are going, they look like they're going upward.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll doing the firing.
Yeah, I'll take it next, and then
Ryan?
I guess.
What do you think?
Go ahead, Ryan.
Me, I just think Grier probably is going to be the one that has to do the firing instead of vice versa. That's just how it's looking. The coaching is absolutely horrible. Flores, I love, but you can see the defensive side of the ball is developing and the offensive side isn't. And if you can't hire a staff, as we can see, it could destroy a season. So I've actually reversed. At the beginning of the year, I was like, keep Flores, get rid of Grier. It's Grier's fault. Now I'm actually thinking Grier's going to have to can Flores.
Okay, what about you, Crypto? Crypto?
That'd be a bad mistake.
I don't think he's there. I
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
I also want a 5-year plan. And I think people are too quick to pull the trigger. We need to give them time because this is we're the second youngest team.
Yeah, they're young, man.
Can I answer your question, Jolie? Can I answer your question, Jolie?
Go ahead, Jerry.
So this is gonna give me a lot of flack because I was one of the guys that I wanted to keep Grier the whole time. I'm gonna go back to one thing that Finsanity said a few streams ago, where she said she thinks that if it wasn't because of a COVID year and teams weren't able to see players and talk to them, that Grier probably would have done a better job in the 2020 draft than what we have right now. I don't think Austin Jackson or these other guys would have been on this team right now because they would have been able to assess them more properly rather than just watching tape all day. And the thing is, being also a Kings fan, I already knew Jalen Phillips was going to hit his stride in the second year, and Grier is a defensive savant. He was going to figure out how to get a 6'6", 200 dude that runs a 4.6. Come on now, Grier can figure that. Flores can figure that out. But what I wanted to say was that I've always had faith in Grier's ability to pick picks. Now, guys like Liam, Noah Benogany, that's bad. But I mean, every team has bad picks like that. Noah is going to be one of the biggest gripes against Grier because that's a first round pick you could have used on someone else. But I personally think out of 10, Grier did a 7.5 personally, and that is not something that I would want to fire him on because for the longest we were saying Grier can't evaluate talent, he can't do this. The guy went literally strikeout on his first 3 picks, so that's a stand for something.
Are you saying he struck out at all 3 picks in 2020?
No, I'm talking about 2020 this year.
2021.
Yeah, he struck on, as in he struck gold on.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
All 3 of these picks.
I must have got a struck on. Yeah.
Like hit a
Sorry, my
run.
bad, guys.
And don't listen. Notre Dame produces unbelievable linemen. Don't count Liam out. He's played out of position. We have absolutely no one to play left tackle. He should be starting left guard, but we have no one to put at tackle, and they refuse to move Hunt over to right tackle and put Liam at right guard. So I think Liam will be fine. I just think we're in a desperate
Wasn't he a tackle, though?
and there's nothing he can really do. So I don't think
he was a tackle at Notre Dame.
Jury's out.
Yeah, he was a tackle at Notre Dame.
He's a tackle at Notre Dame.
He's a rookie at Notre Dame, but he's got short arms, and as you can see, he gets beat by all speed rushers right around the end because of shorter arms. So he should be a guard in the NFL. Just because he's a tackle in college.
I don't think it's the arms that's the issue. I think it's his stance. I think his stance is too narrow.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to coach him into this weird. I think it's for athleticism. I think they want their stance to be narrow so that they can be more quick. But I'll be honest, it's just not working because he doesn't have the ability to hold up against a push the way he should be able to.
And he also doesn't, and he doesn't have a proper coach to coach him up either.
That's what I'm saying.
I would fire the O-line coach for sure and the assistant coach because they're both doing a horrible job with the O-line.
Yeah, that's my issue. I love.
They're the weakest link of the staff.
Yeah, the O-line coach might be gone.
Build a staff. I think we're on our 4th O-line coach, 4th offensive coordinator, or 3rd offensive coordinator. Will be 4th next year. How is Flores going to get a staff on the hot seat?
Can I ask a question for the panel?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Q.
How do you feel about the offensive line for the past couple weeks?
They've been improving. They've been improving.
No. If you guys watch the all-22, Jackson's been getting beat up. It's Tua. Tua's made them look better.
I'm gonna say this.
Better players make the team look better. They rise level of play.
Wait. Can I say this real quick?
The all-22, the O-line has not been playing that good. It's all Tua. And how quickly he gets rid of the ball and how he can evade the pass rushers.
I'm not
They've
saying
been playing better, but not well.
They've been playing well. But my thing is, nobody want to have the time with the O-line. The O-line is just as young as Tua. First and second year players. That's what boggles my mind. Everybody want to discount everybody.
Okay.
They suck.
Here's my opinion. I'm not even off on Austin Jackson. I don't even think Austin Jackson's a bust yet.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think.
I don't know, Marcus.
He's been
I don't know.
getting blown off the line if you watch the all 22 all the time. Jackson.
I think you give him another year at the guard to see what happens.
So he took the 5th grade tackle in the first round. Horrible move.
I think what is probably the case is that Austin Jackson has a lot of potential, but he's not very technically sound, right? And because our coaching staff is not great at coaching O-linemen, we're not able to refine that technique into a good offensive lineman. So he's a high-skilled player or a high-potential player who can't become better because he's not in a place that can actually improve on the things he does bad, which is technique. So for us, yes, he's a bust, but I don't think that he is a bad player overall.
Yeah, but his strength looks pretty scary. How easily he gets blown off the line by defensive tackles. It's pretty scary how
they should have just went free agency and got linemen.
It's to me, it's not a strength thing. It's how he's standing, how he comes out.
It's more of a technique thing, man.
He's getting rocked back too quickly. That's why he's getting pushed back.
Remember what I said with Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but remember what I said with Eichenberg. His stance is too narrow and it lets him get pushed around. It's the same thing with Jackson, where if your stance is too narrow off the on the block, it can be hard to really plant your weight into pushing the guy off. I don't think strength is the problem with Jackson. What was his stat on like the bench press or whatever at the combine? It was really, really good, right? Dude has got a lot of raw physical strength. The problem is his technique isn't letting him apply that in a way that would produce good blocks. And I think
that's why I say we need a new O-line coach.
Absolutely.
Coach.
Yeah, but all that doesn't always translate. Like bench reps and 40 times.
I understand that.
It's about how you play. It's your tape most of the time. All that stuff look good. It might seem good, but none of that translates to play.
It does. And with offensive linemen and D tackles, that matters. Functioning strength matters. Trust me.
Strength matters, but
I'm gonna say this. Really, do you want offensive linemen that bench press 225 10 times on your offensive line? No. You don't want that. He's gonna get pushed around all the time.
It matters to a certain extent.
It don't matter if he has perfect position or anything. He's going to get pushed around. It's not about his strength. I feel as though his technique is off. That's what I noticed with the offensive line. Watch the Patriots offensive line. They're not the top 10 players in the draft. These are undrafted free agents, 5th, 6th round draft picks. And they're doing their thing because they're getting coached up right.
And Ted Karras is on the Patriots O-line, and he's doing great.
Yeah, right.
Should we draft or should we get free agents in our O-line?
I think you need a veteran on that line.
Yeah.
I want free agents.
Well, the Patriots are playing cupcake defenses, so they're not going to be playing anybody till they play us.
But
they need to go to
the Pats had the Colts and the Bills twice.
Yes.
The Bills are suspect now.
Yeah.
I don't trust them no more.
Jolie, to answer your question.
Yes, go ahead.
If we do not get a great O-line coach, please get a veteran.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, if we do not get a good O-line coach, please get a veteran that can be on the field and tell these guys, hey, you're messing up. You're messing up. This is not what you do, and help the guys out. Because we cannot have Jesse Davis. I mean, come on.
Jesse Davis.
Which one would you say you need as a veteran? Because for me personally, I would rather have a veteran center more than anything else. If I can only have one, I would take a veteran center because they're going to be the ones driving that line. So what do you think if O-line would be the one to put that if you could only have one?
I would just
but they had that in free agency.
I would just like a center that doesn't snap the ball into Tua's knees.
If we're going to target one O-line position with the way Tua plays, we want to go center and build out.
You want to go center.
That's what the Chargers
protect
did.
You got to build up that interior.
Lindsey caused most of the protections for Herbert. That's why
I I said the center is the one that I would need to have that veteran leadership in there.
Yeah,
that
we
totally whiffed on not getting Creed Humphrey. He was there for the taking. It looks like an awful choice now.
Yeah, y'all got all this
Well,
money in free
I've
agency
been
money
saying
and
that.
don't get no linemen.
I've been saying that, but
It's crazy.
who knows? Our O-line coaches probably would have ruined Creed Humphrey.
Depending where we draft, my choice would be to go Lindstrom with their first pick at center.
I don't know why y'all keep talking about draft picks. We're not going to have any draft picks.
Well, at least from the third round on.
Lindstrom's
We're going to have some. It's just going to start from the third round.
Lindstrom's rated 15, so he's going to probably go somewhere 10 to 20, which, depending on where we end up drafting, Lindstrom might be a viable first-round pick for us. That will lock up the center for 10 years. He'll be a stud.
Y'all want to put another rookie on the line?
I want to tackle.
Yeah, when the rookie's as good as Lindstrom, definitely. And then we're gonna obviously we have to add veterans at left and right tackle, and then get a rookie center. You're not gonna be able to get all three players via free agency. So one of the three picks in center.
I think you let Deer go come back out the center.
So up the line.
One at a time, please. Don't talk over each other. Go ahead, Crypto.
No, I'm saying a center. Veteran center and a guard can sew up this offensive line easily. And we could pick up a rookie later in the later rounds of the draft to bring him into the fold.
I feel like we need a tackle.
What I think, and I'll kind of tie this back into my rating of Grier. I think Grier has assembled a really good talent scouting staff. And it's not Grier who's personally making most of the picks, but he's assembled a really good staff. And I think that for the most part, I trust in his judgment to get good players. I just don't always trust in the judgment for us to develop them, right? Because if you're drafting high upside players, that's great if you have the staff that can develop them and the system that can bring out their good qualities. I don't think we have that system on offense yet. So when it comes to drafting O-linemen, I'm a bit hesitant on that just because if we've got another rookie in there, right? I don't think drafting is what's going to be the case until we know we have our O-line coach.
Exactly, Marcus. Spot on.
So we're going to have to do free agency, and we're going to maybe make a trade, right? Maybe use a first-round pick to make a trade for an O-lineman, maybe who's on like the end of a contract, and I don't know, something like that. But we're going to need to do something because I don't want.
So you rather waste a first-round pick on a lineman and not grab a QB?
Oh, I don't think that we need to.
That's not what he's talking about, though.
What are you talking about, QB?
No, he's saying
running back or
probably make a trade using one of our first-round picks. There's probably 3 quarterbacks that's going to hit the free agency market next year. So
I think if we don't get Watson, I'm okay with keeping Tua. But when it comes to the offensive line, I don't think we need any more rookie tackles or anything like that. We need veteran leadership.
We need veteran leadership.
They need to spend some of that $100 million.
Okay, it's more like 80 mil.
Say something?
No, it's 100.
No, it'd be about 110.
Well, we're still going to have to sign a few players, aren't we?
Well, yeah, but if you think about it, the 100, the extra 20 is going to cover those other guys. So realistically, it is 100. And then we'll be able to assign in the guys that we have, like Agba, like Gesicki, like whomever else. So it's still going to be 100 because we got to let go of a few people.
Yeah,
but regardless,
a few people go and see who hits free agency.
Hunter Long is going to be the starting tight end next season. You heard it here first.
I would let Gesicki go. I would let him go.
Yeah, no, with Gesicki, the best thing to do is put the transition tag on and see how other teams value him. And if you can get him at a slot receiver contract, we sign him. If he wants a top 5 tight end contract, you let him walk.
Just let him walk. Let him touch free agency and see who wants to take him. Because
you put the transition tag on him so we have a plate to match.
Yeah, soon.
You're gonna let go.
We see how other teams value him.
You're telling me?
We should value him as a slot wide receiver, but some team might value him as a top 5 tight end. That's what we have to find out. Slot receivers are about $9 million. Top tight ends are going to be about 12 to 14. So that's the difference.
So
he's
I
going to
have
want
a
to go as a tight
question.
end then to get his money.
Do you want me to repeat what I was saying so you guys can hear?
I think everyone heard you.
Yeah,
now we get it.
Last part.
Yeah,
Say that again?
Yeah, so basically, Gesicki's more of a slot receiver than a tight end, even though he's listed as a tight end. A slot receiver long-term contract should get about $9 million a year. Top tight ends are getting about 12 to about 14. So if we put the transition tag on him, we have right to match any offer. We let the market dictate what we offer him.
Well, I still think he's our second biggest
wouldn't even
weapon,
sign him.
and I would definitely re-sign him. Absolutely have to re-sign him. He's physically our biggest target. Let's be honest. And two, he's more athletic than anybody else that we have, because anybody else that we have, and I'm not talking about Waddle. Relax, people. Anybody else that we have, guess what? They're always injured, so they're not there. So unless you're on the field every single week, don't come talk to me.
What I'm saying is, how do we know there's not going to be better options in free agency?
I mean, we won't know until we hit free agency. You know, you never know who's going to get franchise tag.
He's still going to be on our team until free agency. So why jump the gun and sign him when everybody knows when he's coming out on the field, we're not running the ball?
Well, I think you jump. I think you jump the gun
because just want to get it done.
If we get one of him or Agba signed long term, then we have the franchise tag and we keep them both. So we won't really know until we get to the offseason and see if we get one signed before we have to make a decision.
I think
you really want to re-sign him.
You guys realize that he is 24 compared to Kelsey, who's 30, compared to Kittle, who's 28. He's literally hasn't even hit his
prime.
Yeah, but you can't compare him to Kelsey or Kittle. Kittle's a top blocking tight end as well and can play in line. What our problem with Gesicki is every time he's on the field, we're scripting what we're doing because they know he can't block.
Exactly.
I understand.
So they know he can pass it.
I get that. But think about it this way. Right now you have a making tight end who hasn't even hit his peak, who's 24, that you can get on the team if you sign him now and have him as a weapon. Where right now we don't have weapons. We have Waddle, Gesicki, Holland. That's it. Devontae Parker's never there. Preston Williams always hurt. So we don't have anybody really. We only have those two really, because I don't know, for some reason they never want to.
I agree with
Will Fuller signed his check and moved to Canada.
Will be the only receivers I keep. Mike Collins, Gesicki, and Waddle will be the only receivers I keep.
We don't have no one else.
Everybody else gets a big flip.
Every week. Exactly. No one gets every single week. So if you think about it, he's young, he's going to be cheap, and he's still going to be able to produce.
You say he's going to be cheap. I hope he's going to be cheap. I worry that he's not and that the team isn't going to want to pay it. I want Gesicki on this team.
Because
whatever Kelsey money, do you give him Kelsey money? Look at if he wants Mark Andrews minimum, if that's the baseline, that's really a far way to go for a tight end that can't block. If he sets the bar at Mark Andrews minimum.
Not really. Look at Waller.
Okay, here's the thing.
Waller right now is not. He doesn't really. Waller right now in the Vegas doesn't really block. He is a
but you have to understand Waller's contract was signed real early on, so his contract's kind of
his contract is gonna reset the whole market.
Gesicki is not a Waller though.
Yeah.
Here's my opinion on Gesicki.
Baby Waller. He is a baby Waller. He hasn't reached his max yet.
Okay.
He's not comparable.
He's a weapon.
Waller,
yes. My
Waller
opinion.
Is way more dynamic.
My opinion on Gesicki is Gesicki's a playmaker. Whatever position you want to label him, he's a playmaker. He's very athletic, and that kind of athleticism doesn't always come along. Now, the problem is, how much do you pay for that athleticism when in his position, he isn't able to fulfill half of it, right? Do you move him to slot receiver and then try and get him on a slot receiver contract? I want to keep Gesicki because you don't
show me
just
receiver that's smaller than him and more athletic.
I was gonna
in
say,
this team.
you don't just let
rather
go
have Durham
of that
Smythe.
kind of athleticism, especially on a guy who's that loved by his team, because you can tell Gesicki is a team guy and the team loves Gesicki, right? So it sends a bad message to the, in my opinion, it sends a bad message to the locker room, and you're losing a huge athletic weapon for your young quarterback. And I don't think that's a smart move, but I also don't think it's a smart move to pay him like $15 million or even like $13 million. I don't even know
Send
if
him
he's
to
worth
Houston.
$13 million.
No, yes,
look-
slot
no.
receiver money 9 to 11. 11 should be the max a year.
If you look at Gesicki right now, he is what you would call our veteran. He's playing under our system, playing with our players for the last 4 years. Got drafted by this team. Everybody always talks about how Miami can develop teams. He's actually one of 3 that we have right now in our team that has actually been drafted and developed. So right now, we need to go ahead
He ain't been
and
developed if he can't block.
Yeah,
listen.
he can't block,
Just
and he's
because
also
he
not a
doesn't
huge red
block.
zone threat.
Just because he
That's
doesn't block.
mainly what the
doesn't
tight end
mean-
position is.
No, it's not. That's not the only part of being a tight end.
I said mainly.
No, agreed. I agree with her, but that's why he's a slot. So you get slot contract because he's more of a slot receiver than a tight end.
Yeah,
Well,
because he'll get
you
$9
can't
million.
line up anybody.
Tight end's gonna get more money.
Gesicki. You can't line up anybody against Gesicki because he's so huge and so athletic. So at the end of the day, Gesicki is actually someone we've developed where we can actually pay and actually call him, guess what? Our veteran. Because we need veteran leadership. Guess what? We have it in the we have it as a starter. We might as well just sign our own veteran leadership.
Yeah,
And
and there is
something
to be said for
here's a good
signing
point.
Dude,
your
are
own.
you willing to pay $15 million for that though?
No,
50 million, no, but if you look at the market, and I did say this several weeks ago, if you look at the market right now, where he's at, because he doesn't block, paying him 11 and a half, or even if you want to exaggerate and say 12.
Yeah, I say about 12 million.
12
You
is the
can
top.
still-
Yeah, you want to give them.
You
but look,
can
if you
still
look at his
go
season
ahead and
this
keep him
year-
because that contract will be a lot cheaper because when the market, and it will reset, when Waller comes in, the market will reset. Right now, again, he's still only 24. Waller's older than him. Kelsey's older than him. Kittle's older than him. He's going to get up to those guys eventually. He's only
I don't think that's true. Like, here's a good stat for it. If you go back and look at our schedule this year, every team that we played with a good defensive coordinator, head coach, put a CB on him. New England, no catches, no yards. Ravens, no catches, no yards. Carolina, 3 catches, 17 yards. So when they put a quarterback on him, he's easily shut down. So that mismatch isn't there. Teams are going to start to realize throw your 1 or 2 corner on him or your safety, and then it's no longer
And
a
them other
mismatch
guys-
versus a linebacker. Then what do you do?
Them other guys, you can't put a CB.
I don't think
You're not
all
gonna
teams
put a
are
cornerback
capable
on
of
Waller.
doing that though.
Yeah, all teams won't be able to be able to do that.
Yeah, but those 3 teams I just named are most likely playoff teams. Carolina, because the quarterback's falling out, but the other 2, Ravens and New England, are teams we're going to have to get through every year. So if they could take, if we give one of, if he's supposed to be a top weapon, and 2 of the teams we compete with could just automatically take him out of the game.
Could use him as a
We're not
decoy.
Wait, Ryan.
Then
Who
it's
does-
Use him
a
as
coordinator to
you
use him as a
you pay
decoy.
him-
Who does that leave open? You tell me.
Pay him
If they have
$9
to
million to use
double
him as a
team,
decoy.
if they have to double team Gesicki, who does that leave open?
No, they're not double teaming Gesicki. Gesicki's a mismatch if he's a tight end over linebacker, but when he's up against a cornerback, a top cornerback, 1 or 2, he's not a mismatch anymore.
But who's still being left open? Because he's definitely not the one getting the balls because of it. Who is being left
Nobody else
open?
making plays except for Waddle.
The Waddle.
Yeah, except for Waddle. You have to go to Waddle.
That's why we need that second
Exactly.
number 2 receiver, so he could be
Are
able to
there
really
any-
take the top.
Are there any great receivers hitting free agency after this year?
Devontae
Great.
Parker,
I don't know
maybe.
about great, maybe serviceable receiver.
No, Devontae Adams, but
Adams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Devontae
I
Adams.
wouldn't put my hopes in Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
He
he's.
wants to
I
play
don't know.
with Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know about what it all
Especially
depends
if
about
they
Aaron
wind up,
Rodgers.
especially if they wind up hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Because Green Bay is still a contender. Let's not forget that. Teams tend to stay if they win the trophy. So just keep that in mind. The Packers
Oh,
are
Aaron
not-
Rodgers done in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers done in Green Bay,
If he
man.
lifts that Lombardi Trophy for him again.
We'll see.
He's out if they don't win, so you better hope they not win the Super Bowl. If you're gonna think he gonna hit the market.
Even if Rodgers
Guys,
stays,
I
even
just
if
saw this
Rodgers
real
stays,
quick.
they're not going to have enough money for Adams because they still going to have to sign Marlon Humphreys. And he said they was concentrating on Marlon Humphreys' contract before Adams. So Adams is most likely, unless he takes a pay cut, is going to be out of there.
Quick question, guys. I just saw this on the chat.
Aaron Rodgers probably end up in Denver. I guarantee you, Adams is not coming to Miami. He gonna break your hearts, just like what's his name, the running back broke our hearts when he was hoping he would come down here.
No, I don't want
He's
him.
not coming. But what about Adam Thielen? John Kristolakis just put Adam Thielen's going to be a free agent. Would you take him? Because I would.
He's starting to get hurt more and more every year.
I think the Vikings gonna lock him down.
Sure.
I think the Vikings gonna lock him down.
They gonna probably tag him because they need him and stay with Jefferson as that complimentary receiver.
Yeah.
Because the veteran. Look at that. The veteran teaching the rookie. That's a fabulous thought. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I still think Gesicki is A, one of our biggest weapons, and B, yes, he may not block, but what he does in taking the defense away is what's allowing other players to be open. That's all I'm saying.
The receiver market's pretty good this year.
But he's going to have to be consistent in beating us mismatches.
Of course. But again, he's still young. He's 24. You're telling me we can't keep him for another 5 years, 6 years?
Yeah, I agree. We can, but he might cost
at
some
what
money.
price? That's what I said. At what price?
But that's the thing. If we actually, which I wrote this down. If you actually take a look at it, the guaranteed money is really where it's at. If we set up his contract, which the way that I had it set up, I think it was like 11.5 million for the next 5 years, but we only put his 32 million guaranteed in the first 3 years, allowing us to still have those last 2 years if we want to play around with him. That gives him the guaranteed money. That gives him 30 plus million. Plus,
he's not signing for 11.
Yeah, I don't think he'll sign for 11. You had to give him that. You had to try to give him that 12 million.
Okay,
you had to try to get that 12 million done.
12 million. Even if we give him 12 million, it'll 12 million times 3 was
He's gonna want more than 12 million. The bar is gonna be Dallas Goedert, who got 57.
I have
35 guaranteed.
I have a question. I just kind of want to put this up to everybody who wants to answer this. How much is too much to keep Gesicki, right? And what do you think he will ask for? Two separate questions.
What did Dallas Goedert get?
So, okay, we'll start with Arkeith. Arkeith, how much is too much for Gesicki, and what do you think he's going to ask for?
I think you're going to have to give him that Dallas Goedert type money. That's what he's going to want. That's what he's going to want because, you know, the Eagles just got rid of Zach Ertz. You know, so obviously
and is that too much?
I don't know. I really don't know because, again, Gesicki, he's a weapon on the field. So you don't want to let your weapon go, but at the same time, you know, are we able to give him what he wants?
Okay. Ryan, what do you think the maximum you would pay Gesicki is, and what do you think he's going to ask for?
Probably 4 years, 60. Goddard got 4 years, 57, 35 guaranteed. So I think he's going to want, that's going to be the minimum.
Yeah. He's going to want that.
If you do 35 guaranteed and you spread that out over 4 years, then you can make it a Fugazi contract where it looks bigger, but you're still getting the same guaranteed. I wouldn't go any higher than the 35 guaranteed and then finagle the contract so it looks bigger on paper than it really is.
Okay, but you wouldn't pay 15 for him.
God, no.
Okay, what is your maximum?
Probably 11 to 12.
11 to 12. Okay. Anyone else want to chime in on that question or those two questions?
Yeah, well, for me,
I would give him
I'm okay with giving him 12. I'm not okay with him giving him 15, and I'm a huge Gesicki fan. He's not worth 15 million because he doesn't block, but giving him the 35, which is kind of similar to what I was saying, if you spread that out within, I would say even 5 years and spread it out between 3 to 35 million, that's really what's going to get you, the contract that he's going to like because it's a big contract. It's a long-term contract, but also it's going to be team-friendly because at the end of the day, after the third year,
he wants to stay in Miami, so.
Exactly. We can cut him after the third year. And
With him
I
saying
do stand
he's a wide
corrected, by the
receiver,
way.
he's
Sorry,
gonna want
Gigi.
more money.
He is 26, not 24. My bad. He is 26, not 24.
Okay. Okay, GG.
But that's what I'm saying.
How much is too much for
Wait.
Gesicki?
For me, I just let him walk. Like, yeah, he's young, but he's gonna want wide receiver money. He's already said he's a wide receiver, so he's not going to take no team-friendly deals.
I'm just asking you, if you were the GM, how much is too much to sign Gesicki?
How much is too much? I would give him 11 and keep it pushing. And if you don't want that, then like I would barely give him 11. Like I wouldn't re-sign him unless I tell him, listen, you got to learn how to block. If you don't learn how to block, we can't re-sign you. That's all I would tell him.
I think it's too late for that.
Can't block.
Yeah, it's too late for that.
You can.
So you draw the line at 11, but
draft.
you don't think, you don't think he's going to ask for 11. So you're just going to let him walk.
Yeah,
you cannot let him walk for 11.
Yeah, the transition tag's the best way to go, guys.
You cannot let him walk for 11. Not with all that money that we're gonna have, and you're gonna take your veteran guy. Like, no, you can't do that.
Yes,
not for 11.
You got to because you don't know down the line who's going to end up in free agency.
Which is why you do a 5-year contract, and you only spread his guaranteed money over 3 years. After those 3 years, you can cut him or restructure.
Q, what do you think?
And he'll still be 29 by the way. In 3 years,
we don't know if he's going to take that deal. We don't even know if he could come out and say, "Listen, I want top money. I want top of the line money."
We transition.
So you're telling me if you offer
see how other teams value him.
Gigi, if you offer him $80 million for the next 5 years, 35 million guaranteed, or let's just exaggerate and say 40 million guaranteed within the next 3 years, he's not going to take that.
I'm not giving him
I'm just saying, the guarantee is the only money that matters. The rest is
the best contract you offer is.
I'd sign to that.
Well, 40 million guaranteed over 3 years. That's
the 40 mil for 3 years.
40 mil for 3 years is like 13 million a year.
Yeah,
right. That's what I'll sign him for that.
You'll sign him for 13?
Yeah, for 3 years.
Signing him for that.
For 3 years,
I'm not signing him. No, unless he's blocked.
So so 36 million puts you at 12 million a year for those first 3 years. 36 million guaranteed, and let's say we give him a contract of, which Kelsey, I think, not Kelsey. What was the other guy? The number one guy?
Dallas Goedert. Comparable to
Kittle. Thank you.
Kittle.
I think 60 million and like 40 guaranteed. If we give him that contract, you're telling me he's not going to take $32 million guaranteed, $36 million guaranteed in 3 years?
I'm not giving him that. He probably would, but I'm not giving him that.
No, I don't understand why he wouldn't. I would.
He can't block.
But listen to me.
I'll be honest.
You have out of the 18.
You have no playmakers. Yeah.
You have.
Okay.
How do you know you won't have no playmakers? How do you know somebody else not going to step up? How do you know somebody else not going to be available?
How many times can you give Preston Williams or what's the other guy that are never there or available?
One player we're forgetting about
he's never available.
How do you know it's not going to be? If we don't sign Deshaun Watson and use our draft picks, how do you know that it's not going to be a better prospect in the draft?
But guess what? Again, with the draft, you want to let go someone that you know at least what they're good at right now to a hopeful in the draft, which, by the way, we haven't always been good with the draft. Let's be honest. To not sign somebody that you have that is A, has the team spirit, B, is a leader in the team, and C, is actually productive in this team and available for this team.
Yes. Because when people key in, when people key, good defensive coordinators, when they key in on stuff like when he's on the field, they're passing the ball, they're not going to put a linebacker on them. They're gonna go in a dime or a nickel package and put a corner on them. And you already can't run the ball, so we know you're not going to run the ball out the shotgun.
Gigi, even if we don't get Watson with all those picks, look, get rid of every single wide receiver we have. and only keep two of them because we only have two, which is Waddle and Holland. Everybody else can go because they're never available. So then now you're telling me with all that money, we can find somebody else in free agent and still keep Gesicki? How does that make sense, man?
You said what?
If we were to go ahead and let go of all of our wide receivers that are never available and keep Holland, keep Waddle, re-sign Gesicki, re-sign Agba, we don't even get Watson. We're keeping Tua and we keep our picks. You're telling me that with this free agency, we can't take maybe one of those two picks and pick somebody else up and still keep Gesicki?
You could, but what I'm saying is it's a chess match. When you're playing football and you're a coordinator, it's a chess match. And if they're going to, if every time Gesicki's on the field is giving away what your next move is going to be, it's a problem. That's a red flag. Unless he's going to be that elite player, it's a red flag. It's not going to be good.
Okay, so
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
With this, Gigi. Hold on real quick. Let's agree on this at least. You have the top tier tight ends. We all know who those are. Kittle, Kelsey. You could even put Waller up there. That's the top tier tight ends, right? Who's the second tier tight end?
I would say Gesicki.
Okay, so you're telling me you have somebody that's right off the line from the top tier, who's already in your team, already knows your players, already has chemistry with your quarterback, and you wouldn't sign him?
No,
you sign him for the right price.
I can't help
You sign him for the right price. But what they should have did was they should have traded him in the beginning of the season and got a first round or a second round pick for him.
How many more first rounds do we need? How many more?
You don't want to give him that contract. You don't want to give him that contract.
Dude, it's only 3 years.
You can go get another tight end to do. What he's doing, you can go get another tight end to do. Tight end is not the hardest position to play in the world.
So then why are you complaining about him not blocking it? Why are you complaining?
Yeah, we had one since Reddy McMichael, man. So you got to have one.
You got to have one, but he's not elite. Is what I'm saying. He's going to ask for elite money.
I'm not saying
he's elite offensively. He's not elite all around.
Well,
thank you,
receiver room, we got 4 flat tires.
So what you saying is you want to sign him off?
We get back on the Tua Watson conversation.
Yo, Crystal, that was nice. I like that. That was funny.
What happened?
But honestly, Gigi, you cannot tell me you wouldn't resign him. Even at $12 million, it's still good enough for him. It's still top money, but it's not really top money because the market's going to reset. Everything's going up. So if you sign him not lucky,
we'll see what he signs for. We'll see what he signs for.
Of course, we're going to see what he signs for. But if you're going to tell me you're going to let go of one of your top receivers, you put him in any other team and he's a Pro Bowler, man. Which always happens with Miami. People say that Miami's not great at developing players, and that is not true. Miami is the best team to develop players for other teams because we're always giving away our top talent. And now that we actually have somebody that wants to play here, and it's a top talent, you just want to let him go?
It's not hard to find.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Reasonable
it's not hard to find a tight end.
Smythe is even playing good. You can. Durham Smythe's not playing bad. You can use Durham Smythe.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but he's not Gesicki though, man. He's not Gesicki though, man.
Yeah.
My only thing is with Gesicki, I want to see what Dallas does with Schultz.
If your offense runs off of your tight end all the time, you don't have a good offense anyway. If you depending on your tight end to be your best receiver, your offense is not going to go far.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, that's true.
How many Super Bowls did the Patriots win with tight ends?
Yeah.
With defenses and Tom Brady.
Let's not forget. Hernandez had Hernandez night.
They win with their tight ends because they're notorious.
Aaron Hernandez was a whole totally different beast. He was a beast since he played in Florida. You can't compare.
But she's just saying like. But she's saying like how different.
Aaron Hernandez.
Can we switch up the topic?
Exactly. Switch it up because I'm tired of Gesicki already.
When everyone's ready, I want to bring it back to Tua and Watson.
All right. I'm going to be controversial is what you want.
No, definitely. I wasn't in the chat earlier, but I heard a lot of things, and I think people are totally overlooking what's going on right now with Tua, and it has nothing to be with the Tua. It has nothing about being a Tua-neer or a Tua hater. It has to be being honest with what we're seeing. So if we want to bring it back to that, I'm ready to go.
You got a question?
No, yeah. So I mean,
I'm watching over
the conversation earlier. I forgot who was in the group and who wasn't still. But a lot of people were saying we should still get Watson, which I think is totally wrong. One of the best quarterback gurus of all time was Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh says you need a minimum 25 games before you get to sign your quarterback. And I kind of just want to throw out there, in the month of November, the number 1 ranked quarterback in completion percentage was Tua. The number 4th rated quarterback in November was Tua. The number 2 quarterback in yards per attempt completed was Tua. The number 1 winning percentage quarterback in November was Tua. If you go back over the last 8 games, Tua has a better completion percentage by almost 9% over Herbert. He has a better passer rating, less interceptions, a better average yard per attempt. The only category Herbert beats Tua in is touchdowns and passing yards. 200 more passing yards, 2 more touchdowns. If you go over Tua's rookie season, his first 16 games, if I've ever seen a QB quarterback, he's right in line with what I would like to see as a good pick when the QB that's excelling. So I don't know why we would still be talking Watson at the end of the season. If Tua continues on this progression, you have to remember, 8 teams next year are going to be need quarterbacks. Watson's going to destroy our caps and picks. Tua's doing all of this with the worst offensive pass blocking team in the league. 3 of the top 5 worst offensive linemen on his O-line. No running game, 1 wide receiver. So I just wanted to throw that out there. We keep talking Watson.
Tua would never be Watson.
Watson is not a top 5 25 for his career with DeAndre Hopkins and a great D.
He didn't have DeAndre Hopkins last year. And he's
one year, but he Watson is not a 1-year player. Watson's been in the league for multiple years. He's only 3 games over 500. So act like, if we get Watson, he's going to be this franchise.
Sport. He never had a defense. He never had defense.
Over 500 when he had a Super Bowl D for multiple years, had the best wide receiver in the game for multiple years. Only 3 games over 500.
What the Super Bowl defense was that?
Yeah, the Texans never had a Super Bowl defense. You're crazy.
J.J. Watt stayed hurt most of those seasons, man.
The first 3 years, he was on the Texans. The Texans were a good team.
The Texans,
you mean the Super Bowl? You mean that Super Bowl defense that gave up the 41 unanswered points to the Chiefs when they was leading 24-0? That Super Bowl defense?
That's a Super Bowl defense. A Super Bowl defense.
Outstanding.
He's crazy. He's crazy.
They gave up 41 unanswered points. Great Super Bowl defense that is.
61 against Jacksonville 20 years ago. Happens. Tried to.
But that Jacksonville defense run circles on any of these teams now.
So why is Watson only 3 games over 500 for his career? If
the Dolphins defense would never. You said what?
Watson's only 28 and 25 for his career. How is he a franchise savior?
How was he a franchise savior? He's only 2 years older than Tua, and he's way better than him.
The man have been to 3 Pro Bowls, bro.
He's a year and 4 months.
You can want Tua, but you don't have to crap all over Watson just because you want Tua. You can always want Tua. It's fine to keep Tua, but you don't have to crap over the other guy just to defend another person.
No, I'm not crapping on Watson.
That's not fair.
I'm saying how, if you listen to my point, 8
let's not make Watson into Jeff George just because we love Tua. Let's be realistic.
It's not about being a Tua.
Tua would
if
never
you listen
be
to my
Watson.
first point was about 8 teams next year are going to need quarterbacks. So the price is going to rise. And with his cap hit, we're acting like he's going to be a savior. But
that's true. That is very true. But guess what equation you leaving out? It's only 1 team out of 29 teams he want to come to.
Yeah.
And that's the Miami Dolphins.
That was because there's only 2 teams trying to trade for him right now. Once the whole NFL's open, how you know it's going to stay like that?
No, the whole NFL's been open. Everybody has the same ability to pursue a quarterback at any given time before the trade deadline. And
remember,
he only want to come to 1 team.
Remember, he was finna get out of Houston before all this stuff had happened.
before the season even started.
Exactly.
Everybody
so
was in play.
Was lined up. Yeah, everybody was lined up, man. And
he only said he wanted to come to one team for the whole year.
Bro, Watson is a Miami fan. He said he's been a fan of Dan Marino, and that's why he wants to come to Miami. Did y'all miss that?
That's Watson's trump card over any NFL team.
And they think we need a handler.
Miami is only bidding against themselves. Miami is only bidding against themselves. They're not going to be bidding against all these other teams because Watson still has the no trade clause. He's only still saying, even to this day, he wants to come to Miami.
Right.
All the other teams they're not going to get him.
Yeah, Miami's going to give him crowns for him. So
we should pay less for him. I think we should pay less for him. If we were to pay for Watson,
then you would have initially decided that you wanted to stay with Tua anyway. Don't play games with the guy. Just simply say you don't want him and stop trying to say we're going to give him a low ball offer and all to the purpose of saying you're not going to get him because Houston ain't going to move on that.
Crypto, I meant to the Texans, not him. I'm talking about the Texans. I'm talking about the picks. I would not give as many picks. If I know he only wants to come to Miami, why am I going to give up 3 first?
Yeah, give him the crumbs.
Because if they really wanted him, they'll give him what they're asking for. Don't play games. It's like if you want a house, if you want to buy a house on the market, you give them the asking price and you give them the closing and you pay closing so you can get the deal done. You don't play around. You go take the house off the market.
Go higher than the asking price.
When the Texans drafted Watson,
you give the offer, you give the asking price, and you take the home off the market. That's the bottom line. And you don't want to bid against nobody else. You give the asking price, you pay closing costs, and you take the house off the market.
Well, the problem
is that simple.
The problem is
the thing is
nobody. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, TD.
TD, go ahead.
If there's nobody to bid against, then the cards are in your hand. You don't offer more. Houston actually wanted 6 draft picks and 6 players. Don't forget the original asking price that everybody said you're insane. Everybody told them kick rocks. Get out of here with that crap. They wanted an insane amount. Miami actually got them
to drop the ball, yeah.
Exactly.
3 firsts and 2 seconds.
And if
there's nobody else he would go to.
And because he's not willing
to but they're not moving off that last drop.
What if Casario says to Deshaun, we're not trading to Miami if you don't want to go here, you're staying.
They're not going to pay him $35 million, Ryan.
Just to sit on the bench.
Then they'll pay him $35 million to sit on the bench.
On the bench.
No, they'll start him.
Casario would be giving him a Christmas gift.
Exactly. There's no way they're That'll be the most embarrassing thing for the Houston Texans if he started.
No, he's not going to play another down with them.
I think the Houston Texans would be fine having a top 10 QB start for them and being a little embarrassed.
TD, you going in and out, brother.
No, I think I just fixed it. We good now?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm just saying with how we've seen the last month of the season continues like this, we build around him instead of depleting cap and trading away picks.
See, but the problem that y'all keep ignoring. See, this is the issue I have. All the people that want to see Tua in Miami, I don't have nothing against you for wanting that. You should want that. I want that. But the reality is, what you're seeing right now is an offense that has basically said, we got 800 plays. Let's just stick with these 150.
That's because offensive coordinators are awful. One's going.
Yeah, you can call it what you want, but
That's a horrible
those awful offensive coordinators got Tua looking good right now.
Looking good, yeah, making it look good.
No, Tua's making them look good.
TD.
Okay, hey, TD, why was the offensive line looking so bad before Tua? And then the last 3 games, there's only been 2 sacks. The offensive line suddenly got better.
They've been improving, man.
Well, hold on, back up. Go back to when they were
correct. We have been making them the offensive coordinators look good.
Hold on for a second. He said, why were they looking bad? And all of a sudden, in the last 2 games, there's only 2 sacks.
No,
you need to go do your research.
The last 3 games, they've only given up 2 sacks. Is that the offensive coordinators learned how, and the offensive line coach learned how to start coaching suddenly? Every analyst in the league says our offensive coaching is awful.
It's the same O-line. See, it's the same O-line. Here's the difference.
It's the same O-line.
We started out with 800.
Them look better. Thank you.
No, bro, hear me out. We started out with 800. We started out with 800 plays with Changeli. We went down to 600 with Changeli. We went down to 400. We went down to 400 with Changeli. We came into a new season, and we started with 400. We went down to 200.
Wait, but if you're gonna bring in Changeli, do you have any idea what that was? Brian Flores told Changeli he was making the QB switch Monday morning, gave him no heads up. That's why he had the
300. Then we realized, nope, let's just stick with 150.
A minute.
No. I'm about the QB switch because nobody in the organization outside of the front office.
Yeah, Monday morning
made that
Sunday
switch.
Game, the week of the game. Changeli said that.
Flores
Flores
didn't make the decision.
Gave him no heads up.
But you got to understand, Flores never gave the green light for that.
Yeah,
Flores
that
was told that's what was going to happen.
That decision came out the skybox.
Yeah,
that decision came out the skybox. That decision came from the skybox.
With the stats over the last month, Tua's ranked top 5 at every major category for a quarterback, but it's the OC and the head coach doing it. You're right. And
what do you mean top 5 in every category for a quarterback?
Ranked top 5 in the 4 base categories you want for your quarterback. No credit.
Bro, what are you talking about?
So, all right, so TD, you were off.
What are the categories?
TD, you were off for the month of November. In quarterback stats, the number 1 ranked quarterback completion percentage is Tua. The 4th best
completion percentage. Yes. When you ain't throwing no passes past 15 yards, you
Justin, hold up. Justin Herbert has a lower.
You should be number 1 in the NFL.
TD, hold on. Let me comment on that. Justin Herbert, who you've been having a love affair with this season, has a lower pass per pass than Tua. So why did you say that?
No. See, there we go again.
What you just said.
No. See, you can't fool me with numbers. You can't fool me with numbers. Let me break that down for you.
Push the ball down the field more.
No,
let me break this down for you.
Games, I compared Tua to Herbert over the last 6 games. Tua has
the Dolphins have more yards. The Dolphins. Let me help you out, bro. In that game on Sunday, Tua averaged 5 yards per reception. The one pass from Waddle put him up to 7.4, up there with everybody else.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna take out.
What I am trying to tell you.
The Eckler pass and all the Keelan Allen
No. That ain't what I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Take this one pass.
That's not what I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Take that.
That's not what I'm trying to say, bro. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is the Miami Dolphins are number 1 in the NFL for yards after catch percentage.
And why is that? Because Tua throws the ball to them in stride, so they can run
because it's wide open dinking and dunking.
Yeah, and they just getting yards after the catch.
Do me a favor, bro. Do me a favor. I want you to go to ESPN.com, and I want you to go to QBR, where you're going to see Tua's number 8. But what nobody talks about, when you click on the QBR stats, there are 6 rows. One of them's QBR. Look at the other rows. You got EPA, PAA, and pass. Those are how a quarterback, every throw they make, how the impact it has on scoring. Tua is one of the lowest in the league. Every pass he throws has no scoring implication.
That's because he has no time to throw.
Okay, you can keep on saying that, but I only judge Tua off of clean pockets.
Yes,
I don't care about.
But ESPN isn't only judging. ESPN isn't only judging Tua on clean pockets.
Shown crazy progression. Bill Walsh, which I've been trying to tweet at you. Bill Walsh.
Do y'all realize y'all are calling crazy progression a better completion percentage? Do y'all realize if they brought me into the building and said, TD, I just want you to throw to the running back in the flat. You don't think I'm gonna get better at throwing to the running back to the flat every week? and matter of fact, let me go even worse. The defense is playing the zone, so I'll always have time to get the ball there. I'll run at least 70% completion doing that.
So wait, Tom Brady. So Tua averages 7.3. Tom Brady and Herbert average 7.4. They must be dinkers and dunkers too, right?
Yeah, Tom Brady was an expert dinker or dunker. He was quite the dinker dunker.
Here's the issue, ladies and gentlemen. This is what y'all need to understand about the stats, okay? If Tom Brady throws 4 deep balls and only connects 1 for 30 yards, right? But he throws it. That automatically right there has his average at 7.4.
That's gonna raise him up.
They at least they're taking the shots.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what you fail to realize. What I'm trying to show you is Tua threw the ball 31 times and not a single one traveled past 15 yards.
Past 30 yards, yeah.
Yeah, we put up
past 15, not 30. Not a single one traveled past 15 yards.
So, to be fair to TD, Tua doesn't throw a lot of deep balls. That's true. But he has done it, and he's not done it exceptionally well, but he's shown a capacity to do it, and it's not as if he's never going to be capable of improving that particular aspect of his game.
But how is there a capacity whenever the man, how many games has he played this year? Because I could tell you he's only attempted like 5 deep balls this year.
7 games.
7 games, and you've attempted less deep balls than
he threw.
One game you connected with 1 pass.
No, I think he threw passes over. I believe it was either 15 or 20 yards. It was in the.
I'm talking about the 30 plus. This man has less attempts than games.
Two.
Oh, okay. For 30 plus yards, then yeah, he's probably only throwing.
He has less attempts than games, and I can guarantee you there ain't a quarterback in the NFL that has less attempts per game by far.
I mean, fair. If you can get the stat, then that's.
Huh?
He's in his.
What do you mean, TD?
16th
Less for
start,
per
TD.
game.
Taking deep shots, taking opportunities. See, the thing is, when I watch
Brady or Tua? Hold on, I lost you.
Tua. I'm talking about Tua. Brady definitely takes the shots down the field.
Yeah, Brady has.
Yeah, that's because of his coach now. Brady never did that much in New England.
Miller.
Brady has gotten this I don't care mentality. That's why he's been throwing more picks this year.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
He has thrown more picks this year than any time he scored.
Yeah, what you tend to notice is the riskier the quarterback is, the more deep shots they tend to throw, the more, exciting plays they tend to have. Usually, there's an uptick in interceptions.
Well, the more impact you have on scoring, though, bro.
We also saw this in, for example, the
we'll see how the season ends, TD.
Much maligned Buffalo game where Tua was trying to push the ball more. He was going out of his comfort zone, and you saw that reflected in the interceptions statistics, right?
The game from last year, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You can see when Tua tries to, air it out more. That's not his comfort zone. His interceptions go up when he tries to make big long plays, and that's primarily because he's not experienced with making big long plays.
So how will he ever get experience? So how will he ever get NFL experience if we've created a system that basically says no, you're not allowed unless it's wide open?
Yeah, so the offensive coordinators need to go. Tua was on the Saints right now. They're a top
they don't need to go. You just need to come to the realization that all they can do with him is put him in a dink and dunk situation for him to thrive. That's why they're going to get
No.
So let it rip, man.
Okay.
Over the last month, we've seen progression where, we're starting to see why we drafted him, and you've already sold him off. That makes no sense. That's horrible analysis.
So
here's analyze your sport.
No. Hold on, Marcus.
Yeah.
Y'all do me a favor real quick. Please allow me to do this one exercise with Marcus, okay? Please. Okay. Whether you disagree or agree, please allow me to do this real quick. Marcus, I picked you because I know at the end of the day, you're going to answer this question unbiasedly. And I want you to role play this with me, okay?
Go ahead.
All right, Marcus, this is a scenario.
Okay.
You are the offensive coordinator.
Got it.
I am the head coach.
Okay.
You have a quarterback that you need to make successful.
Okay.
You go out there in game one. You mix it up. You give the full array of the playbook. You know that, hey, the offensive line does struggle, but there's still opportunity to be taking shots. Even though they struggle, instead of you taking 6 shots a game, the offensive line can at least give you about 3 a game, but you're probably going to get pressured or sacked on the other 3. Your quarterback is deadly in the short range, but we can't seem to get anything done much. We keep punting, and we're not putting up enough punch doing it because everything has to be perfect for us to survive in that system. Some games you'll get that perfection from the team and we'll win, but other games we need a little more from the quarterback.
Okay.
So the first game you go out, you open up the echelon of the playbook. Everything underneath is golden, A+. Everything over the top or intermediate where it takes anticipation, F grade, just terrible. What is your game plan in week 2?
That depends on if I'm trying to win games at all costs or if I'm trying to develop
You're trying to win
team.
And develop your quarterback.
Same time?
Yep.
Well, again, this is probably why I'm not an offensive coordinator, but I would install the majority of the game plan in where the quarterback is comfortable. And then I would try and include packages where we extend the field and try and work on areas where he's less comfortable. But I would maybe hold those back for times when I'm more confident in our chances of victory. So, for example, if we're up a little more, then I would be like, okay, Tua, let's start putting in those deep route packages, because if we take a sack here, it's whatever, right? We're already up 14
All right,
points.
great. Week 2 comes. You ball out in the underneath stuff. And the deep stuff, you barely ran it because we never took off and blew anybody out in that sense. But you know what? You took about 3 shots in the game. None of them worked because the defense didn't have a broken play, right? None of it worked, but we need you to develop him overall. Week 3, what is your game plan now? We won that game, by the way. Let me say that. We won that game.
Well, if we're winning, it's kind of hard to change up the formula. I would continue to have the majority.
I need you to develop him, though. I need you to get him to have a well-rounded game, because when I'm watching film with you, offensive coordinator, I'm seeing when the moments we do have a clean O-line, he's missing opportunities. And some of them he's not even taking.
That's completely
no,
false.
No.
Hold
Let
on.
me finish.
Hold on.
Let me finish. No. Let me finish. I'm talking to the OC right now.
In the month of November.
Okay. For the sake of this specific example, just let TD finish.
Please.
Well, he's neglecting a stat. You have to realize he's a rookie.
No.
I understand, but you
can
talk.
Finish?
Yeah, we can try and discuss it afterwards. Go ahead.
So now week 3, what is your game plan? We still need, we can't just keep on having him dink and dunk, because we also need his game to grow. When the offensive line is rough, we need to develop his ability to make plays happen regardless of at times. It ain't going to be perfect. There is room for error. He's going to take some sacks. O-line going to look bad, but there's still opportunity, and I need you to get that out of him. What's the game plan in week 3?
What I would do in that case, if I'm being pressured into developing his deep shot ability, is we would run a lot of practices specifically focused on the deep shot and try and incorporate that into the game plan as much as possible. And then
in practice, it's trash. It's trash in practice. Boo-boo trash.
Trash in practice, okay.
Trash in practice.
My main priority is to win, right? Not to develop. So winning is more important.
No excuses. You're an NFL coach. I need both. I need develop and win.
Well, for me, win is more important. So I would, again, maybe make it more of a 75-25 split. I would increase the number of deep shots that we take. I would increase the number of on-field reps that he gets. But I would still have the core of our offense be in the areas we're confident we can win.
All right. So now you don't went into the game. You were deadly money on the short stuff, trash again on the deep stuff because nobody had a broken play. And you actually lost the game barely, and the defense gave it up at the end. But there was so much more the offense could have done. What's your game plan next week? We need more from our offense regardless. We had too many punts in the first half. Too many three and outs.
Like
O-line was playing trash. The quarterback left
That's what I was
opportunities
going to
on
say.
the field.
Atlanta game.
The
it
O-line
sounds like
played,
the Atlanta game.
Yeah, let's keep going though. The O-line played trash. The O-line played trash. The quarterback left all kind of opportunities on the field when the O-line didn't play trash. And the running game just ain't moving.
Okay.
Now what you doing, OC?
Well, at some point you either have to accept the fact that you're going to take some licks and then just keep on trucking with your game plan, or you abandon the game plan.
You lost another game. What's the game plan the week after? You just lost another game.
Well, if we're trying to develop the quarterback, we continue to implement as many deep shots as we can and attempt to implement areas of his game where we think
he was trash on the deep ball. Now I'm questioning if I need to replace you. I need to see an improvement in the next game. We need to get this W. What you doing?
Okay. Well, if the win is what's most important, then we lessen the number of deep balls that we throw. We focus more on where the quarterback is comfortable.
Now you see why our OCs do what they do.
Now what's your ratio?
I'd probably put it back closer to where we were weeks 1 and 2, where it's more of like a maybe 15% deep and rest of it's more intermediate to short.
Okay, we just won a game. And matter of fact, our quarterback looked amazing. What's your game plan the week after that?
Again, you gotta go. You gotta go, and that's why I asked what the priority is, because if you're dealing with a situation where the quarterback is incapable of a specific aspect of the game, right, and you want to develop that specific aspect, you're going to have to take a long period of time where you just accept the fact that you're taking hits on this and push through regardless.
Now pause right there. That's what I wanted to hear from you.
Okay.
If you believe in Tua Tagovailoa's future and you know the area where you want to see improvement, if you believe in his future, aren't you going to take them hits and work on that, even though it might come at a call?
Me? As personally me, I would say yes. I would have probably last year.
You're not all bases.
What? You were cutting out.
You're breaking up.
That's exactly.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
How
TD.
they think, but people. Can you hear me?
Not really, not at all.
Yeah, you're breaking up at the end there.
You might have to come out and then come back in.
Testing.
Yeah, that probably just recycled.
You can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, Marcus,
Go ahead
what you said is, and what I've been preaching all this time is, I feel like it's not right. I want them to put him in the areas that he struggled, even if he looks bad, because it's the only way he's going to get better at it. And I am telling y'all can ignore it all you want. They said screw that crap because they already made a determination. He's limited. Let's just give him what he does well to make him look as best as he can to strengthen his trade value. The man had a game, which I don't never remember a quarterback having in NFL history, unless it was a third string guy they were trying to protect, where he threw 0 balls past 15 yards. That is all you need to know from the offensive coordinator and this coaching staff. They have literally conceded, only give him what he can do well, screw the developmental piece. At the end of the day, if he sees somebody break on a broken play and he gets it, all the better. But right now,
So here's what I would
set everything up for a first read.
Here's what I would say to that. If they wanted to develop Tua and they wanted to improve him in the areas where he was weak, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I would have started him week 1 last year, not started Fitzpatrick, knowing that Fitzpatrick gives me the better chance to win. Start Tua anyway to give him the experience and all of that stuff. I would not have pulled Tua in those games. I would have let him in.
I was screaming that last year. I said, if we're going to be
don't
playing
pull
like
him
this,
at all.
you might as well let him play. Go ahead and get the experience. I don't care if it looks bad, but he at least gets the experience.
He needs those
Guys,
games.
The problem
You
with
guys
that,
wait a minute. He just came from a
the problem with that,
ending hit, an injury. Are you kidding me?
he was
Yeah, but
6
he was
months off
well
of a
enough to
career-ending
play
injury,
in week
guys.
one.
Let me
Remember
tell you something, Jolie. There was no difference in Tua in week 1 of last year and week 6 when he came in.
Right, it was no
There was
physical
no
difference.
difference.
yeah.
But remember, we still think that week 6 Flores was forced to put Tua in.
Exactly.
I don't think Flores wanted to play Tua all year, TD.
Here's what I'm going to say about that. We are not talking about what I would have done we are talking about what I would have done, right? And what I would have done, like I said, was I would have played Tua. Flores didn't play Tua because Flores isn't concerned about developing Tua. He doesn't want to or care about his development. He wants to win games. Flores, from the beginning, I think he's made it very clear, all he wants to do is win games. He doesn't care about the long-term developmental prospects of X, Y, or Z, except maybe on the defense, right? And I might get into that a little later. But the point
and O-line. Remember, he's very specific on he wants those guys to go through their growing pains on the O-line.
Okay, so Flores doesn't want to take the hits and take the losses early on in order to set up success later, right? Flores wants to win right now, and he will do what he can to win right now. You can tell it was not Flores' decision to put Tua in. Flores wanted to stick with Fitzpatrick because Fitzpatrick gave them the better chance to win holistically, right? Even if Tua could theoretically be better than Fitzpatrick's worst games, he couldn't match Fitzpatrick at his best. So Flores wanted to keep him in. Flores did not want to play Tua, but was forced to, and so made several concessions. And the problem was they did it as a half measure. If they had either committed to Tua or committed to winning, that would have been better one way or the other, but they didn't, right? I think the entire time Flores has just not cared about Tua's development as a quarterback. Or I should say, maybe not cares, but he prioritizes winning over development. And if he thinks that developing Tua is going to cost them a game, he's not going to develop Tua.
I don't.
Yeah, but the problem is, I think you're overlooking the fact that they went down the developmental route last year and it was a disaster. They saw certain traits that were like, oh, heck no, let's build a cookie cutter offense that just highlights everything. Y'all got to think about it. The man had 27 completions. I could tell you 3 plays that took up 15 of them. 3 plays. The little bootleg with the tight end, the little
You breaking up.
to the right or trips to the left. 3 plays made up half of every completion. Field. You don't see range. You don't see different packages and this and that. You see the same thing running different ways. You can run 2 or 3 plays out of this cookie cutter set. Y'all don't realize that we are running a basic elementary offense that is built on let's try to scheme one guy open and see if we can get Tua to hit that guy as soon as possible.
And so are the Patriots.
And he excels at that. No, the difference between us and the Patriots, and just like Bill Belichick said 2 weeks ago, one of the main reasons why that run game is thriving so much, because he actually admires the way, and that's why there's something wrong with Bill Belichick. His whole career, he didn't get nobody credit, but for some reason, he loved talking about his quarterback, Mac Jones, probably just to stick it to Brady. But
I think it's to stick it to Brady.
One thing he said 2 weeks ago was, Mac Jones is doing a heck of a job getting us out of throws based off of certain looks and putting us into really good runs. They'll have a pass lined up. Mac will audible at the line based off of what he sees and 7-yard chunk. Belichick said that is one of the main reasons we've had great balance, because Matt could be throwing the ball about 8 more times a game, but he makes the adjustments at the line of scrimmage, and vice versa. On some run looks, he'll switch the side, or he'll hit the hot or the alert.
Fair, but I also wonder how much of that, because normally Belichick doesn't speak specifically about players, and Flores doesn't really speak specifically about what players do either. He'll kind of like half mention something, but they tend to keep things tight-lipped like that. If stuff like that is happening, would Flores even be talking to the media about that? Like, oh no, you see, Tua's actually been audibling a lot and like calling his own plays and stuff. Yeah, I mean, he won't even admit that he's calling the defensive plays.
Well, you can see Mac Jones doing it at the line of scrimmage. You can see what Tua's doing at the line of scrimmage.
He's been doing it since week 1.
You can see it. You can see these things, what we're talking about. You don't know what he's switching to, but you see him making adjustments pre-snap.
Okay.
Those aren't things that they need to talk about. Those are things now, what play they went into and stuff like that, that's a different level. But you can see when a quarterback making pre-snap adjustments. And that's one thing.
He made some of those TD in the last game.
About Mac Jones. What happened?
He was making some of those in the last game.
I was proud of him for that. Two times he did. One time he brought the running back on the other side and ran a counter, which was I pointed that out on my stream. I said, did y'all notice that? He identified what the linebackers were trying to do. He switched his linebacker on the opposite side. They thought it was for protection, but it was actually for the draw, and we picked up a good little run chunk on that. I recognize that, but that's all I'm saying to you in that regards. That's the difference. We talk about Mac, rookie year, day 1. That's why they cut Cam Newton. They say Cam Newton was teaching him reads and how to read defenses. And Cam Newton kind of acknowledged that. He said, I don't really which was shocking to me. Cam Newton acknowledged the fact that he knows the system, but as far as reading defenses, a lot of these quarterbacks are like this, y'all. That's why the elite guys for the future, they can read defenses and manipulate it. Seatbelt. Thank you. So that's the difference, man.
I wouldn't say necessarily Mac Jones is manipulating defenses. More like his offensive coordinator is more of a genius.
See, that's where y'all miss me with that. Y'all keep giving the offensive coordinator all the credit for New England. Do y'all not realize when you're making pre-snap adjustments, that means what the offensive coordinator gave you ain't working on that play? Do y'all realize that? And it's not on the offensive coordinator.
It's not working.
You don't know what the defense about to show you. All they doing is calling a play. And you going out there to execute it, but if you get a certain look, you can't put that. Like, people be like, why would we run that play? Nobody was open. Did we know they were going to be and have 8 in the secondary? You don't know these things. Your quarterback has to try to recognize certain things from the beginning of the play to make the appropriate adjustment.
Can I say something about that, TD?
Sure.
Can I say something about that? That's one of the things that really gripes me about some of the Dolphin fans is whenever, another quarterback does something really well, it's, man, the offensive coordinator, they did really well. No one is saying Mac Jones is carrying New England's offensive coordinator. No one's putting that narrative out, but all I've seen after this game is Tua makes the O-line better. Tua, the offensive coordinators, they're trash. Tua is saving their careers. And I'm like, you guys have the wherewithal to give credit to all of these offensive coordinators all around the league. But these guys on Miami, they've been getting better on a weekly basis, just like Tua has. And it's like nobody wants to give them any credit. And it's like, come on, guys, I get it. I like Tua, but sometimes you gotta give them their due diligence as well. Like, you guys have to show them the respect that they deserve, because these guys are not just. I understand they did not start the season off well. But I feel like they're doing a pretty good job, especially with what you said earlier, with the limited options. You're asking these offensive coordinators to go into a fight with an arm tied behind their back.
Well, let me say this. I agree with you, but I have to stick up for those people you're talking about. They don't believe Tua has limitations. So therefore, they just see the bad offensive coordinator. But if they actually believed that he had limitations and they're working through those, then they would see the light. But they don't believe that. So I can't argue with them. It's a difference of opinion. And the only people that know is that front office. But Changeli actually told us, but they'll ignore that and say he's an old man that don't know better. So if they actually had somebody come out and say, yes, we're working through what he can do well, only his limitations, then they might come off that high horse, or they'll just attack the person who said it. But that's the difference. There's certain elements in our theories. My theory is based off of what some of these coaches have officially said, and other people's theories are based off of everything around him is just trash. That's why I always tell y'all, this is the Tannehill situation all over again. And I just feel like I'm finally on the right side, because I was on the wrong side of the Tannehill situation. I was his biggest fanatic. Everybody said it was Tannehill, and I said it was everything around him. He never had an offensive line. He never had the receiving core. Now the defense sucked. I mean, blah, blah, blah. It was everybody except Tannehill. I've been there. They killed me for it. But now they have amnesia when it comes to Tua.
I always try.
Yeah, Jen Gailey say more so that it was a playbook issue.
Yeah, I always
it's because he couldn't reach.
Gailey said I had to give him what he can handle.
Right. Meaning he know the playbook.
I can only give him what he can handle, and he'll be there one day. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take.
Well, the frustration is not really. It's the perception that if you criticize Tua, you're a bad guy, or a Tua hater, and you're not. If you're a true Dolphins fan, you want the team to win, regardless of what players are in there. I mean, I'm a huge Gesicki lover, but if he's not the answer and we have to, upgrade or go somewhere else, I'm okay with that, because it's a Dolphins decision. We need the Dolphins to.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how quick people flip up. Y'all got to think about it. 4 weeks ago, people were finally saying, dang, I'm starting to see what you were talking about. Dang, maybe you were right. Dang, that wasn't a bad game, but it sure was underwhelming.
Well,
and just like that, in 2 weeks, oh, give me your apology letter. Oh,
okay. People are fickle, Dolphins fans especially. I've tried to maintain consistent opinions the entire time.
It's got to be double face and font and bold font.
We have been really hurt as a fan base, so I can understand this. But as a fan base, we have to understand this, because one part of us is saying, yes, we like Tua, but I want to see this. Doesn't mean it means, oh, we hate Tua and we need someone else. No, this means, guess what? We see that he's improving in these things. This is what I need for him to continue to be better. But at the end of the day, if we do not want better for any player that we have, then we're not true fans, because then we don't want our team to get better. And that's where I'm coming from when it comes to the Tua situation. I love Tua. I want him to progress, but I need to see consistency. And 4 games is not enough.
Period. See, and let me say this. CB83, what you just said in the comment section, that's spreading a false narrative, bro. I didn't say Tua's not our guy because he doesn't go deep. I just said there's a well-rounded thing in your game that I need to see to know that you're the guy. Anybody who's honest, even the 2 years, if you're honest, there are certain aspects in Tua's game that you want to see before you can say he's definitely going to be a franchise quarterback. I'm not talking to the people who already say he is, because you're just being unfair. You're just biased. You're just saying that he is. But anybody being honest knows, even if you want to say he's improving, right? There are elements in his game you'd like to see. Not only would you like to see, you want to see it on a consistent basis before you can crown him that. That's all it is. If someone can show me those things, he gets the crown from me. I'm crowning him. But you can't get mad at me for wanting to see it first. Why would I crown somebody and put him in a situation where he can prove it? He comes up short. and always does. I don't know if he will, but we're talking about. We're giving him credit for something he hasn't done and hasn't done on a consistent basis. He's improved. Okay, he's improved. But the things that we also want to see in the next level of growth, we acknowledge he improved. But we still got to see those things. Yeah, but TD, they'll come eventually. Okay, they'll come. But until we see them, we can't crown. But people want us to bring crown before we see it. And then if we never see it, then we all got to backtrack? I don't get that.
No, it's because if you're criticizing, you're hating, and that's not hating. That's just pointing out facts that you want to see improve. But that's in everybody. Even I wish Gesicki could block. I'll put it to you this way: I wish he could block, but he's just not good at it. I mean, it's just a fact. But he still has other things to overcome that. Tua right now is still developing. He's still in his rookie-ish year. We have to continue to see that growth. But he's not a franchise quarterback after after a season and a half. Like that's just
it's like this too, Joe.
Can I say something?
It's like
TD,
it's like having a kicker. It's like I got you, bro. It's like having a kicker, and he doesn't kick 50 field goals of 20 and 30, and he 100%. And the 5 field goals he's kicked 40, he missed them all. And the 2 that he kicked 50, he missed both of them. And you're like, he got to get better in that area before we give him the next deal. But we keep on getting 20 and 30 situations. And we're like, I just want to see it. But now the coaches are actually said, I'm not even going to let you kick the 40s and 50s. Just stick with the 20s and 30s. Are you giving him the next deal? Are you saying that he's going to be a great kicker? Are you saying that he's your guy? It's the same thing. It's the same equivalence as what I'm trying to show y'all. I'm not going to crown my kicker. Yeah, he money with the short game, and that time everybody kicks. But in the playoffs, come on, man, we going to need that 40 or 50. That's the exact example that I'm trying to show y'all. And if he develops that, all that's good. But the coaches got to be able to trust him to kick some of them 40s and 50s. But if they not letting them do it at all, that means they don't even believe they're going to move forward with the next contract. They going to try to get the next kicker.
Exactly, TD. You just gave me a painful reminder of Jason Sanders. I'm out on Jason Sanders. He's done in my book. He lost me money.
Money, though. That's where they messed up.
And he cost me money this past week.
Huh?
Jason Sanders cost me money.
But I just think this way. For being honest, I think Insanity, welcome.
Insanity.
Hey, Insanity.
Hi guys. I was just calling to ask TD, can he drop the link for EM? And Real Talk Perez. He's really good. He's a Bucks fan. Real Talk, we do not cuss on this stream. So kind of like he leave that out, but Real Talk Perez, he really is like a really cool guy. I like his
EM in the conversation.
Yeah, he asked you to drop the link.
Tell him I'll drop it in 2 minutes. I just picked my son. I'm driving right now, so I saw you and I clicked it, but I got to copy and kind of paste the link in the comment. So once I stop at the house, I'll drop it for him.
Bet. Okay. Hi guys.
Can I just hey, how you doing?
Hey,
I was wondering
Sandy.
if I could just say
How's
one
it
thing
going?
about Tua thing.
Go ahead, Crypto. Go ahead.
Oh no, it was me that
Oh,
asked, not
Jerry.
Crypto.
Sorry, Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry.
What I wanted to say is throughout all of this, Miami is the first time I've seen a fan base and practically an entire league get mad at a team in the front office for wanting to expedite their success process. Because as me, I love Tua, and I think Tua is going to be a great quarterback, but there's no denying the talent that's on the other side of America in Houston, Texas right now. And what I think the one thing I hate is that how fans try to discredit, what Watson has done and all that thing, because these are the same fans that hate when people try to discredit Tua. So it's in my case, don't be a hypocrite in that sense, but Miami is trying to expedite their building process. They can do in 2 or 3 years what Tua would probably take 5 years to do. You understand? And I'm not necessarily saying that's a definite for Tua, but like you have a proven commodity. This is the first time that we are not the first team that has traded or bought in a better talent than the young talent that we have now. This happens throughout all sports all over America. But for some odd reason, when Miami does it, Miami has to become the villains. Miami has to become the bad guys. And I'm like, you guys would not do this if the Lakers or the Yankees or somebody else wanted to expedite that process and bring in all-star players and tell their young guys, hey, we get you developing, but these guys are proven. We just want to bring them in, probably go for a few championships, and we'll probably develop you on the side, or we'll probably send you to a team that is ready to develop you as well. So this is the first time that I've really seen people villainize a team, and I get it. Watson's cases, I understand that. That's a different conversation, but far too many people they don't even bring up Watson cases. They bring up his stats. Oh, he didn't win anything with Houston. Oh, he had the best wide receiver. JJ Watt was in his prime, but this, that, and the third. And I'm like, you guys are trying to throw away all of his accomplishments, and that's something that you guys hate when people do it to Tua. You understand? So I don't understand why people are so quick to villainize the front office for saying, hey, we can expedite our process. We can save so much money by just doing this. And people are saying, no, you guys are wrong for that. I just don't understand that.
They're mad because we're one of the only teams in all major sports to go undefeated and win the championship. And all across all major sports. We're one of, honestly, I think like 3. And not even. If we're not the only one, I think we might be the only ones. So they're just super hating on Miami. That's really it.
Can I say something? And I feel like I try not to, like I said, I've been censored by the tweeners, so I have to be very careful with what I say. But we as people, especially like fans of the NFL, are hardwired to protect, believe, and ensure the security of our QB at all costs. And especially when you get a young guy who has such a great charisma and such a great, college career, when he comes in, you're expecting that. So to me, I don't disagree with the people who want to support Tua and who want to go with him, because we are hardwired to be like, okay, that's our QB. Like, unless they go out and look like, Nathan Peterman, and it's just like, or like, by golly, maybe like Sam Darnold. You had like Jets fans really out here defending Sam Darnold. Like, I want you to realize the chaos that goes in, like, the processing of like what it takes to like be like, oh, that's my franchise QB. Like, we drafted him. He was so good in college. It's not the QB. It's the team around him. Oh, it's the coaches. It's all this. We are so hardwired to believe that what we saw in college, what you're going to get in the NFL. And my thing is like this. Tua has looked exceptional with what he's been given. But my thing is like this. Flores has come to the terms with like, boom, we got to figure out how to win with this guy. And we're doing it. So at the end of the day, it may not change what they want to do in the future, but we can't get upset when the tweeners are saying, well, hey, look, we found a way to win with the guy. Why can't we go forth with this in the future? But then again, you can't get upset with the people who are saying, well, there's limitations to that. Why should we stay with that when we can get better? There's two sides of the coin, and there's always like, we're playing tug of war, right? Because we haven't had that success. A lot of us have not, seen that playoff win. A lot of us have not seen, the franchise make it to the playoffs consistently and consecutively. So we're really pulling tug of war when we have a solution with Tua. We found like, okay, we can win like this. We have to play, shut down defense. We can't give up more than 24 points. We have to keep it very low scoring. We have to run the ball. We have to keep the clock moving. We have to limit the possessions that the offense is giving. We have to find a way to stay on the field on the offensive side of the ball. Or we can go get this dynamic QB that even if we give up 21 points, we can trust that he can get 24. So I feel like we're really like, we have two solutions, and I feel like at this point, whether you're a tweener or Watsonite, I like the fact that somehow, some way, we found a way to win. My granted, I will say this: the teams that we have beaten are like, come on now. We have to find a way, like, okay, my question is, can we go out and beat the Bills next year with Tua? These are the questions that I've asked myself. What is Tua going to look like week 18 when we have to play the Patriots? Because I told my dad, I said, whether we beat the Saints, okay, they're injured, they're beat up. We beat the Titans, they don't have Derrick Henry. Okay, these are teams, we all feel like the team that we have coming up, we can beat the Giants. We feel very confident. What is he going to look like against the Patriots? To me, that right then and there is like the test of all tests. Can he go out there? Excuse me, sorry, I'm dealing with a little cold right now. Can he go out there and beat the top teams? Can our defense go out there and shut these teams down? We looked really good against the Ravens, right? But for the most part, the Ravens are pretty much limited to Lamar, and we're seeing other teams, even like the Browns, made Lamar look limited, and they had a competent QB that wasn't severely injured, the Ravens could have lost that Browns game. So now I'm looking at that like, okay. Like, so there's some shaky things in there, but to me, we have to be able to look at Tua when he's going up against the real talent, the upper echelon. And until he can prove to me that he can beat those guys, now granted, that means we have to give him another year, right? So I don't know what we're going to do with that, but he has to show to me that, like, you know what? Playoffs could possibly be on the line. Something Dolphins have not been able to do is win that last game to possibly get in. I mean, we need a lot of help and all that, and that's way off. But if he can show some things against a Patriots defense, who is one of the top defenses, in the NFL right now, and is pretty much stopping any and everything that comes in their way and in their path, then we can have a Tua versus Deshaun conversation. But until then, we're going to look good. We're going to beat up. I'm not going to say beat up, but we are going to compete against teams because this defense is playing it's playing the way they played last year and what we were looking for in the beginning of the year, which is helping out the offense a lot. So it's a lot of take when we're winning as a team. And I don't get why people, are not trying to understand that. You know what? That might be a way that the Dolphins can win, but can the Dolphins win that way when they're playing the top teams, when they're playing against the Tom Brady's, when they're playing up against Josh Allen, who has consistently beat them, when they're playing against maybe Aaron Rodgers and guys who you know that you cannot just zero blitz these QBs.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. Sorry.
I don't have a dog in this fight. As you guys can see, I'm a Bucks fan, but I find the whole Tua thing very intriguing. The Dolphins love for Tua, and then the other side of the I guess hate or the hating or whatever you guys want to call it. But as an outsider looking in, and I've been watching the Dolphins all year this year. I got a friend that is a big time Dolphins fan, and me and him go back and forth. And this was last year, and because of him, I've basically watched every Dolphins game. Okay, from last year to this year, I've watched every Dolphins game. So I've been watching him closely. I couldn't hear what you said.
So you're not a Dolphins fan?
No, I'm a Bucks fan, but I watch the Dolphins all the time. Right. So like I said, as an outsider, I just have to say, because I obviously I watch football, so I'm watching the Tuas, I'm watching the Herberts, I'm watching the McCorkles, I'm watching everybody. You know what I'm saying? And as an outsider, I honestly do not see what Dolphin fans see in Tua. TD is actually one of my favorite YouTubers to watch, and I wish I could watch a lot more people, but I don't like how people break down games. People don't know what they're talking about when they talk about football, and I'm gonna just be honest. And TD has been flipping up every rock that needs to be turned to look at everything that there needs to be looked at when it comes to trying to scout your quarterback. And I have to say, TD hits everything on the nose. I mean, and I'll even say this, I think TD backs off a lot because he gets a lot of bashing back from the comment section and stuff as far as what he sees into it, as far as the things he don't like. I think he backs off a lot of stuff just so he doesn't look so much like a hater, as you guys like to say. But the truth is, Tua is not the quarterback. Like, there's little small glimpses and things that you can hold on to and say, yeah, but look at this. But in the grand scheme of things, guys, you guys got to, like, Look at every other franchise and see what they're doing when they do have a good quarterback. See the type of responsibilities they put on top. You just got to watch the game and feel the game. You can feel when Tua's on the field. You can feel Tua's not leading that offense. Tua is just doing his job. What is the call? Okay, boom, my job is to do this. Boom, he goes and he does it to his best ability. There's other quarterbacks is, what's the call? Okay, boom, I'm going to look here. If that's not there, I'm going to look here. Oh, shoot, let me buy some time with my leg. They're making things happen. They're leading the offense down the field.
But that's somewhat incorrect. If you look at the Patriots game, he called off a run play to get the first down to give us the win.
You know what that's called? It's called doing your job. That's just you're doing your job. You're taking something that's like, okay, any good quarterback does that, and you're trying to make it seem like that's the stamp that we need to say that he's a franchise quarterback.
No. What the stamp we need is he's still just finished his rookie season. If you look at the last month, he's a top-rated quarterback. If he continues that into this month, then okay, we have something to build on.
I think you're using.
Doesn't have to be a 2 to a hater.
I think you're using the rookie thing as a crutch.
No, it's not a crutch. But
there's plenty of rookies. It's not even about when I'm looking at Tua. It's not about winning. Oh, we didn't win because of Tua. Blah, blah, blah. Forget all that. It's like TD says, bro. Just watch his production. Watch him doing his job. Forget that I heard someone say, oh, we don't have weapons. And then like 2 arguments later, talk about that Tua made one of your guys' wide receivers. And it's like, wait, which one is it? Did he make that one wide receiver that had a good game? Or does he not have weapons? Because if he made one wide receiver, then he can make plenty of wide receivers.
Yeah, so look at Waddle with Tua this year. Look at Waddle without Tua. Look at Waddle's numbers with Brissett, and then look at Waddle's numbers with Tua. If that's your point, I could just retort and say, okay, look at Waddle with and without Tua. He's making Waddle better.
Without Tua, then who was he playing with? Who was Waddle playing with?
Brissett.
Okay, is Tua better than Brissett?
Yes.
Okay, does that stamp your he's a franchise?
There's no stamping. See, this is the problem. This is what TD does too. If you want to continue with Tua, you're crowning him. No, what we've seen the last month, if it continues for 2 months in a row, then you build on that, and if he's putting that production up with a horrible O-line, no running back, 1 receiver, and he continues November, top 5 rated in the 4 biggest categories for a quarterback. He continues that into December. The price it would cost for Rodgers, Watson, or Wilson, you build with Tua. That's all I'm saying.
So let me ask you this. So let me ask you this: Is the name of the game production or is it scoring points?
Thank you. I was just going to say that. Because
Tua has one of the lowest. Here's the thing.
And we're one of the lowest, and I'm saying he's a younger quarterback.
Hold on.
Over November, 20.
I'm gonna kill that whole argument.
22, 24, 33. What does
that
that average out to?
Check this
out.
out.
Averages out to above the NFL average.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know why?
3-year quarterback. All I'm saying is take the last month. You're seeing progression. He's only had 16 starts. You're seeing progression. You're seeing, okay, this could become something, and we're ignoring that.
Okay, no, I'm not ignoring it, but I'm going to kill that whole argument right now. People don't understand about game plans. This is something that I have to always yell at my own fan base all the time when our stats say this, our stats say that. Stop looking at the stats. If you know the game plan for the Dallas Cowboys, it's this. Let Dak Prescott throw the ball. What do you mean let Dak Prescott throw the ball? Dak Prescott can have a field day throwing the ball. But you know what the stats say? You know what the whatever they call the numbers say? If Dak Prescott is having a field day throwing the ball, but they're not running the ball good, it don't matter what Dak is throwing, Dallas loses. It's called a game plan. You have game plans for certain people and certain teams. Sometimes you want to let somebody, you could do that as long as you don't do this, because when you do this, you play winning football. But and it's not the same for every team. Every team got different pieces, got different styles. So every team has game plans for different teams. So you just because someone has a certain type of stat, look at his stat is better than
so we're going by points.
Because Tua has had efficient games that we've lost.
All right, so over the last month, Tua's averaged 26.3 points his last 3 starts.
Tua didn't average that. Don't forget, even the last game.
And I'm a Bucs fan, and I know that's not true.
See? So hold on. You mean Tua blocked that punt and scored? Tua put himself on the 9-yard line?
It does matter.
Let's go to the Patriots. I think Mac Jones is playing great this year. I'm not going to take away from Mac Jones because the Patriots are only giving up 14 points per game. Does that mean Mac Jones is
but Mac Jones
is
going down. Mac Jones is going down that field religiously.
It still doesn't matter. The last 3 games Tua has started in his last 4 games as a rookie. The last 3 games, 26.3 points. Doesn't matter how they were scored. That's what we're putting up. I'm saying if you carry that into December and that continues, the price with Watson and the cap, you move forward with Tua and you get him a center like he needs that he doesn't have, and you get him another weapon or a running back and another wide receiver weapon.
Bro,
that's the way you go.
That's what you're doing. You see what you're doing? You're attributing the point. You're attributing every point the team makes. You're attributing the points, every point the team makes to Tua.
You're giving all 3 phases to Tua.
All 3 phases of the game.
All 3 phases of the game to Tua, bro.
That's not. Now we're gonna ticky tack about.
That's not ticky tack. That's literally.
You're looking for every reason.
You're literally.
He's not gonna work. That means
we're scouting one position, the quarterback, and you're bringing a whole bunch of stats from 2 other phases of the game that has nothing to do with the quarterback.
I'm not bringing any stats. You said how many points have we scored? The last 3 games as a team, we've averaged 26.3.
No.
The NFL average is 25. For a team, not for an offense, for a team. So we're averaging above the NFL average, which means if you're doing that, you could win with your quarterback.
Fellas, I don't want to go back and forth about the points that Tua impacts. I mean, I actually agree. I don't even know who Buddy is that's saying all of this because they're going to think I paid you, by the way.
No.
No, they are. They're going to think I paid you and that I know you personally.
Master at Work knows me, so you can ask him about me. I've known Master at Work for like years, so like.
No, you good.
I know all kind of YouTubers, so it's just
if you do want to go on stats, right? And this is to Ryan. If you do want to go on stats, this is why I told y'all 3 times today. Go to the ESPN QBR rank, and next to it you got EPA, PAA, and pass. All 3 of those and run. All 4 of those actually tell you the impact the quarterback has on your team's scoring. Tua is ranked 22nd in the NFL with the plays that he makes impacting a score for the team.
This is my question.
Let's just say a score. His impact on us.
Yeah, 22, which is up. Let's see where it ends at the end of the season. Then why did you not be biased and actually take into account? Wow.
Well, I'm sorry, bro. The number. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Tell me a quarterback in this league that's succeeding without a running game.
I'm sorry, bro. The number actually went down.
Look at Josh Allen. We're starting to see
Hold
Josh Allen
on.
You just said regress.
You just said, let's see how it ends. Do you know the number actually went down even lower after yesterday? After Sunday?
If he does what he did in November and December,
because he had less of an impact. He had less of an impact on scoring on Sunday. Most people won't recognize that. The block punt, the 9-yard turnover where we threw it to Waddle, and we really ran it on the touchdown. He has one of the least impacts on scoring for his team in the NFL, ranked 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he finishes top 20 with no O-line and absolutely no running game, I would be impressed for a quarterback that young.
Okay.
Listen, you're
saying that people don't crown him, which I agree with, but you're also being biased by saying he's done. That makes no sense either.
That he's what?
You're saying he's done. You're saying he's not the guy. We have no idea.
First of all, nobody has ever heard me say he's done.
Yeah, I was gonna say
nobody ever heard me say.
Nobody ever
heard me say he's not the guy. I just said I don't think he is right now. Time will tell. See, I don't put myself in the corner. A lot of people want me to so that I'm wrong. See, when I'm critical of him, I don't put myself in the corner and say he'll never be.
Yeah, but if time will tell.
Time always.
Well, you go below all these picks and all the cap on Watson. You're not giving it the time. And you brought in Tannehill earlier, which is a joke. Tannehill got 6 years. No one's saying 6 years for Tua. Everyone's saying give him year 3. That's what we're gonna do. Omar Kelly's been saying it for a while.
Yeah. Arizona should have gave Rosen more time too, huh?
TD's a Finn fan, so I understand how he doesn't want to say it yet.
That's where you get the comments you get because you pulled comments out of left field that make no sense. Rosen was awful.
How?
Rosen didn't go for 3,500, 27 total teams, and 11 picks his first rookie season. Rosen looked like he even belonged on the field.
Hold on. What did Peyton Manning do his rookie season?
Gave up 8. I think it was like 27, 24, 25 picks. So you would have got rid of Peyton.
So what's your point?
You would have got the way you're analyzing too. You would have got rid of Peyton. You would have got rid of Josh Allen.
Hold on.
Josh Allen. You would have cut Drew
But
Brees.
you said I was wrong for beating up Rosen, and then you went on to talk about how bad he was. But what about Peyton Manning? See, you wanted to justify the Rosen one by saying, but you can't use Rosen. He was just bad.
No, because I would have given Peyton Manning more time because while he's throwing the picks, you could see he understood the game. Rosen never looked good in college, never looked good in the NFL. So that's
you're contradicting yourself.
I would compare it to an Brees.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you seem like very adamant on the team sticking with Tua, correct?
No, I'm adamant with what we've seen over the last month. If it continues into December, as a team, it's better to build around him than it is to go waste a bunch of picks on a guy that wants to be in Miami and half our salary cap, so that depletes our cap. Watson couldn't win in Houston. You're gonna bring him. We're gonna become Houston, Texas of Miami because we're not gonna be able to build around him. So Tua has to continue. Don't crown him, but if it's November becomes December, then that's enough for me to say we stick with him for next year. We build around him and we see what happens when he actually has a real running game and a serviceable team. Not excuses, not a top 20 O-line, a serviceable O-line. Give me a top 20 to 15 O-line. And a top 15
anything in November that was impressive other than not have 3 less completions.
If you he has taken away the interceptions. He has not. I don't think he's thrown any interceptions.
If you guys weren't in a position to where it looks like you can be in the playoffs, I would agree. You got nothing going for you anyways. Might as well play it out and see what Tua ends up being. But that's not the case where your franchise right now. Right now, your franchise has a coach that a lot of people like. Right now, your franchise has a defense that's been dominating a lot of games. Some games you guys look suspect, but a lot of games you guys dominate
because of coaching.
No, but most of the games the coaching looks like they're geniuses out there.
No. See, you don't watch Miami enough. Why did it take the week 10 for Flores to start playing the defense?
It's because the offense can't move the ball. If the offense can't move the ball, the defense always on the field.
You're not going to watch the defensive plays.
You're not going to starting, and we have the worst. Listen, you guys don't realize the top 3 worst offensive rated linemen in our NFL are all on the same line. To understand that's like hitting Powerball.
I'll prove to you.
Emmanuel Ogbah just said. They said, "Why has the defense come on?" Emmanuel Ogbah said, "Well, if the offense do their job, we'll do ours."
Proof. Last year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hold on. Last year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I had tried my hardest to convince my fan base in the middle of the season, calm down, stop worrying about the defense. We're not playing our type of defense. Why aren't we playing our defense? I came to the conclusion I just don't think we want to show any more of the teams that we're going to play in the playoffs our defense. We're a man-on-man, blitz, heavy type of defense. In the middle of the season, we started playing a lot of zone. We're not that good.
And I don't know why y'all did.
There's a thing called film. I don't care if they see our defense. There's a thing called film. If they can't overcome our defense, we don't care about showing them nothing.
Hold on. So we like TD said, we're not that good in zone. So people started panicking. I said, trust me, in the playoffs, I guarantee you, we're gonna go back to playing man on man and playing.
You see more man-to-man coverage.
Exactly what we did. You can have tape, but there's different formations, there's different looks, different fakes, there's different personnels. There's a whole lot. It's not just, we know you can blitz here, you know you can blitz the linebacker.
Yeah, but there's zero reason why we run that defense against the Falcons.
Zero defense is not that complicated.
Well, hold on. Let me break this down for y'all. What's being said?
It's based on pure athleticism.
Hold
If
on.
they
Not
ain't
necessarily.
athletic than we are, we can destroy them.
If you do nothing but zero wins, you'll get picked apart by a playoff.
Well, how come they haven't picked us apart? No team has solved it.
Because you haven't played.
Here's what y'all need to realize. In the playoffs, all the hot teams, this is exactly why they go home. And they don't go home in pretty fashion. They always look trash. Because in the NFL, for some freaking reason, every team is going to get 90% zone during the season. And in the playoffs, after the first round, you're going to get 90% man concept. And that's why those teams, that's what even the Ravens, when we were zeroing them out, it wasn't that they probably couldn't handle it. They were just shell-shocked.
Not ready. They were shell-shocked for it.
They were like, oh man, like most of all of these good teams. Think about Mahomes, even in his career. What did Mahomes have to deal with in that first AFC Championship game that Brady done beat him in? And then they won a Super Bowl, but what did they come back and deal with the year after that? But look at last year. Buffalo. That team, nobody felt like they were ever going to slow down. And Tennessee did it to them in the regular season, and I told them it was going to happen. Then in the playoffs, same thing happened. I don't even know the team, but I knew that was the concept they were running against. I was bragging about it to Dan Mitchell. It's the same thing. That's why I can't stand glorifying these quarterbacks that throw in an open zone all day. It may get you to the playoffs, but as soon as you get in that playoffs, that Tampa Bay, that Baltimore team, that Pittsburgh, if they get back to doing what they do, those teams always make the high-powered offenses look like trash. And that's the issue. So how do you think I feel when my quarterback ain't never going up against the main thing that he's weak in? Think about it. Last year versus Denver, we knew he ain't as good, man, and press coverage, and then you send pressure, take away the first read. They did that, and they didn't even do that to many other teams after that, which is crazy. But they did that to him. And then the Raiders got cocky, and they mixed it up and started doing a little bit of it too. Those have always been his worst games. So I'm waiting on another team to run that scheme so that I can see how the quarterback looks. But the problem is, if somebody mans to man and they send pressure and we look like trash, you know what we say at the end of the day? The whole line sucked. Receivers ain't do their job. They were dropping passes. The defense was trash. That's what we automatically go to.
So, here's the thing. Like it or not, we're stuck with Tua until the end of the year because I guarantee you they're not going back to Brissett. So, here's the question. What, if anything, can Tua do over these last 5 games and potentially in the playoffs if we make it to convince each person here that trading for Watson would be a bad idea, that moving off from Tua would be a bad idea?
If you win the Super Bowl, I don't want Watson.
Yeah, it's guaranteed. That goes without saying. Yeah, win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I think everybody agree with that.
Is that the minimum?
No. Let's not come on. Super Bowl. He don't have to win the Super Bowl.
You guys are talking about team accomplishment.
They don't have to.
That's the problem.
But that's not the threshold.
That's the problem.
What Tua needs to do to be Miami Dolphins.
Winning record.
I got to be honest with y'all.
All you got to do is just keep doing what he's doing.
No. You can't
have the same game he had last week.
No, you can't keep doing what you're doing. First of all, y'all need to realize what we're doing right now is not a long-term winning formula. Yeah. You're going to run into that Denver that takes all that away.
You're going to run into you're ignoring they can take that away because we don't have a running game. A running game opens up the middle of the field exactly what Tua's great.
Even if you got a running
back,
there's some teams that'll take both away.
What will make Tua better and our offense better we don't have right now.
Listen, Jameis Winston didn't have a run game. Jameis Winston didn't have a run game or a freaking O-line, and he still was
number one. We're the worst run game in the NFL, and you're neglecting how well Tua's playing.
Listen, Jameis Winston
not going to run.
Jameis Winston never had a run game or O-line.
Deshaun Watson didn't have a run game.
A lot of
Jameis Winston also threw 30 picks.
A lot of
What
teams in the
teams don't
NFL
have
don't have
Not too many bell cow
Look
running
at
backs
Bill.
in the
How
league.
did
Okay.
Josh look
I want to go.
a game plan against him, and Buffalo can't run.
Real quick.
Okay, Ryan, hold on.
Yeah,
I want to go
Buffalo
back.
can't run at all.
I
Very
want to
weak.
go back to TD
Hey,
and get his
how's
answer
Josh
on the
Allen
question.
look?
Let's stop talking over each other, guys. Let's try to
Sorry.
make it more clear.
Quick question. How does Josh Allen look now that defenses can game plan against him and he doesn't have a running game? He's regressed this year. So you do need a complementary run game if you want to succeed.
Didn't have a run game last year, so I don't know.
That doesn't have nothing
Yeah,
to do with production.
defenses. Josh Allen went from everyone thought he was going to be out of the league after year 3 to who the hell is this quarterback? No one expected him.
What some people need to understand.
Once they saw him on film, they saw how he progressed.
Is that if your quarterback puts the fear of God into a secondary and linebackers, you can create a run game. Don't count that either. If your quarterback puts fear of God into a secondary, linebackers
which
in the
is why we
secondary,
had over 100 yards in the last 2 games.
They not putting the fear of God. Tua ain't putting the fear of God in no defense.
Since Tua's been back, they've had their first 200-yard games of the season.
Bro, what are you talking about?
There also has been other.
Over 100 yards back-to-back.
Also, the defense came back, which allows them to actually be.
Our run game has not gone before our quarterback in these last few games.
The offense has had other improvements which have allowed the running game to improve a little bit too.
Did this guy just say out of his mouth that Tua is the reason the running game picking up?
It's not all Tua, which is
Tua's the reason. I said since Tua's been back, we've run for over 100 yards each game. So I'm
How long
just
Tua
saying,
been back
Basically
now?
saying the same thing.
How long
So-
Tua been back?
Saying the same
It's not all Tua. Tua does play a small Tua does play a factor into it. But honestly, I just want to get back to the actual question I asked, and kind of TD didn't get a chance to respond. What does Tua need to do for you to make a Deshaun Watson trade not worth it?
I want to answer that too.
Okay.
Oh,
TD
it's on
first.
me?
Yeah.
Tua needs, because they're not even going to put him in a position to do the things that he would need to do. So it doesn't even matter. I want him to be able to do something, but they're not even running an offensive style that'll allow him to prove that he can do certain things. So, and that's why I'm telling y'all they've already moved on. They're just making him really good in the cookie cutter system.
Okay. Jolie, what's your answer?
Well, for me, in order for him to actually stay, he would have to actually keep improving every single week. But he actually has to be the reason why we win games, not just come back to win, but actually win games. And on top of that, too, if we were to go and actually make the playoffs and then win the game and get to the second level, I think that then you have to give the guy another year. But if he's not the reason why we're winning those games and it's all defense, why we end up winning those games and actually getting into the playoffs, then at any point you can plug anybody in QB and actually just get you there.
And that's the interesting part about it. He has never, outside of Arizona, been the reason we won a game. Even these last 2 highly efficient games, look at what the defense has done.
I'll go.
We were
Look at what the defense has done. So we're one of the best first quarter scoring teams in the NFL. Where's the defense when we have a lead earlier in the season?
What do you?
That's not true, man. That's
season
not true,
where Tua didn't even play. Tua didn't even play early in the season. One game. So what are you talking
you're bringing the defense down. I said the defense. You can't use the defense for 1 week to say, "Oh, the defense did this, not Tua." But then
I'm talking just like you the last 4. I'm talking just like you the last 4 weeks. I'm talking just like you. Now what?
Who did they play the last 4 weeks? Nobody.
What has the defense done in the last 4
Ravens
weeks?
or nobody?
What have the defense done in the last 4 weeks?
The
Ravens been struggling all year.
Going into last week, Carolina was tied for a 7 wild card spot, so don't neglect that. And then the Ravens had, I think we're 7-3.
Carolina is trash, bro.
Let me
get still tied for a wild card spot.
Hold on. Let me get something straight.
Number one defense in the NFL.
Cam
No.
Newton.
Hold on. I gotta say this. Let me get something straight about Carolina. I actually didn't know this until yesterday. Carolina has had the weakest schedule in the NFL. Eight of the teams that they have played have been the worst offenses in the NFL. And guess what? They lucked out as well on one of the games. They played Arizona and they blew Arizona out. Do you want to know why? You want to know why they blew Arizona out in Arizona?
Probably no Murray. They have no quarterback, but that still doesn't.
Because Kyler Murray didn't even play. So when it comes to number one defense, they have played the worst offenses in the NFL. The Giants, the Jaguars, the Jets. I even got the list.
Houston without Tyrod.
Yeah, but you can go down the list of the Pats.
They have played the worst offenses. No, do you remember Buffalo in week 4? Remember Buffalo in week 4? Well, we didn't know Buffalo was going to have the best defense in the league. They're number 1 in week 4. And then you looked at the 4 teams they played in the week 4, the worst of the worst. And when week 5 came, they got their rude awakening. Week 6 came, they got their rude awakening when they start playing actual competition. So schedule does matter. Talk about these defensive rankings.
Still a great team.
I probably don't believe in Tua.
Don't look at the good teams they played. They gave up 30-something to Dallas. They gave up 30-something to another team.
I probably don't believe in Tua. I believe in Tua the least out of everybody here. But I'll even go a step down more as far as what Tua needs to prove. He doesn't even, in my eyes, I take the approach of what you're doing in your job. Tua doesn't even need to win in my eyes. I just feel like if I'm a Dolphins fan, what I'm looking for is Tua being able to affect the game positively, being able to affect the game to where I feel like, okay, if this would have happened, we would have won the game, or if this would have happened, we won the game, because winning games is a team accomplishment. But I don't want to see Tua go out there and feel like, okay, he's just doing his job. I want Tua to go out there and feel like, okay, he went and he got that win. We shouldn't have converted that third down, but somehow Tua made it happen, or that throw was just like stupid good. I can't believe he made that throw, or man, he gambled there, but man, at least it worked. I don't mind the interceptions.
That's what's missing.
Of the fan of a certain team, because again, I know a lot of people have their fan goggles on. I'm a victim of that as well. But what I've come to realize is you got to understand, forget the interceptions, forget all the bad plays. None of that matters, especially in Tua's situation. He's not even trying to attempt. I told both of my Dolphin friends, I told them, listen, if I'm you, what I'm looking for right now is for Tua to make a whole bunch of mistakes. That's what I would want more than anything. Make a whole bunch of mistakes, because that means that at least he's okay. Let me figure this out. Can I fit it through there? Nope, I can't fit that. Okay. Oh, I could do this. Okay, boom, put that in my back pocket. Next year, I know that.
The problem is, A, this coaching staff isn't going to let him make all those tons of mistakes because they want to win, and B, the fan base would absolutely crucify him.
We can't afford that.
Hold on.
That would be disastrous.
But I don't agree. I don't agree with that, because there's a lot of plays that Tua's just holding on to the ball. There's a lot of plays that Tua could be trying. He just doesn't.
The coaches that kept Austin Jackson at left tackle for almost 2 years are the ones that are giving us assessments. That makes me.
All I have to say is that Flores.
That guy does make a good point, because even in this cookie cutter system, there are opportunities that
there's always.
I'll put it this way: Flores is the same coach who decided to start Jacoby Brissett over Tua in the Baltimore game when we saw versus the same team on the same day that Tua was the better quarterback, even despite the injury. So you're telling me this is the guy who's going to evaluate our QB effectively and reasonably and make the right decision on whether or not he's going to be the franchise. I don't trust Flores' evaluation of Tua. Now, I'm going to be honest, Flores' evaluation of Tua.
Marcus, I think y'all have the wrong assessment of why Flores does that. See, the difference is Tua is the better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. The difference is with the way that the reason why Flores elects to start Jacoby at times is because Flores doesn't want to go the game's limited. That's the difference. See, to him, Jacoby Brissett can do it all if he just can do it, and you're gonna hit and miss. Tua does these things great. And Flores just doesn't like the limitations that Tua puts the offense in. And that's how y'all need to look at that. You could disagree, but I'm telling y'all, that's what it is. He knows that Tua is the better quarterback.
And even if you don't agree that's why he's doing it, you can't disagree that it don't feel like a limitation.
But TD, the problem with that assessment, TD, is that Flores has an offensive limitation, so he's a limited person too. He's limited.
But there's a different limitation when it comes to
ultimately. I think
more
the team
options is always going to give you a better chance. That's how they look at it.
Ultimately, I think the team is going to trade for Deshaun Watson, not for any fault of Tua per se, but because they don't want to have to deal with the developmental aspect of Tua. They want a guy who's prepackaged and ready to go.
It's Tua's fault because he came in the league and didn't try to.
No, it's not Tua's fault. Wait a minute, that's nonsense. It's not Tua's fault. He's getting traded. No, it's not.
It's not Tua's fault.
It's not Tua's fault at all.
It's not Tua's fault, but I agree they don't want to deal with the aspect of development. But you have to understand the reason they don't want to deal with it is because it's still not a guarantee.
Not only that, but it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee how long your defense is going to stay this strong.
So that's true. It's not a guarantee as well.
It's like
and it's no guarantee that.
Boom with Seattle. That came and went. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't know how.
And it's no guarantee that Deshaun Watson's gonna come here and put up 4,000 yards.
But it gives us a better.
I don't know about that one. Will Waddle and this receiver with the new receiver core we gonna have next year?
Look,
it's not guaranteed, but it's a high probability.
Come out and ball his first game 550 yards and then break his leg and not be able to play the rest of the season. There is no guarantees in the NFL.
Well, nobody's arguing the injury aspect of it.
Barring injury, it's a guarantee he's gonna have 4,000 yards. Barring injury.
It's a better chance for us to get.
Yeah, it's a high probability.
There you go.
Waddle's going to be in his second year, and he's going to be just getting going. So, yeah, there's a very good chance.
Right now,
you won't need to if you guys have the same defense.
But exactly, by the time Tua gets to his peak, our defense will be aged out, and we can't afford that because it's harder to build a defense.
I won't say it's aged out. I won't quite go down that route.
Let me say
defense is still young.
Let me tell y'all this. This is the difference, man. You either say you're a stats person. You either want a quarterback that's going to give you 6 plus 300-yard games a season or 2 plus 300-yard games a season from a production standpoint. You want a quarterback that can easily get you 2 or 3 touchdowns a game at a minimum, and a quarterback that can get you 0 to 1, or maybe 2 on from an average standpoint. It's all relative, man. When we talk about the leaps and bounds better, it's not about that. It's the small, gradual differences, man. These quarterbacks, we just can't compare, ladies and gentlemen. It's not even close. People need to come to that realization. It is not even close from an athletic standpoint, from a skill standpoint, just from a raw talent standpoint. It is not even close. You will have at a minimum.
They don't want to accept that, do you think?
At a minimum, you will have a 20% offensive boost in production.
Why don't
minimum?
90% of the offense ran through Watson.
Why don't they want that though? Why do they want Tua so bad to work out? Is my question.
Well, I'm not opposed to
well, it depends on who you ask.
You're always going to go with the draft. You need to go with the drafts.
Of course.
Yeah, the guy you draft, you want the guy you drafted.
But I'm saying you're seeing the results that you're seeing. What is it that makes you want to look like I hear TD say it all the time? You ignore this fact. You're ignoring this. You're overlooking this. You're just ignoring this. What makes it that you want to ignore it so you can be right more than just get the position right?
I can only answer for myself when it comes.
They're Alabama fans. They're not Miami Dolphins fans.
Okay, I can only answer for myself obviously there's some people who just love Tua regardless, right? I am not comfortable paying the price for Watson when I believe personally that Tua can become a good enough quarterback that the difference in price between like the 3 first-round picks we're going to have to give up to get him, right? I believe that those 3 first-round picks would serve us better, would make a bigger difference to the team than the difference between where Tua will end up and where Deshaun Watson is.
But Marcus,
I believe in Tua's I believe in Tua's potential to get us. Okay, maybe, but a lot of teams never win Super Bowls, right? The greatest quarterback in the history of the game never won a Super Bowl. So, whether or not you win a Super Bowl isn't necessarily the be-all, end-all of it. I would love to win a Super Bowl, but that's kind of like...
You want perennial contenders.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Marcus.
You want perennial
Who do you
contenders.
consider the greatest quarterback in the game?
All talking about.
That's Marino, the greatest QB of all.
Marcus, who do you consider the greatest quarterback ever?
He said one of the greatest.
No, he said the greatest.
No, he said,
Yeah,
no,
I
he
said the
clearly
greatest.
said-
Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl, and for his era, he was 100% the greatest. And you can argue whether or not QBs have surpassed him since, but suffice it to say,
we're not gonna go down that path, bro.
Yeah.
So
his
do
era,
you
yeah.
think? Do you think if Deshaun Watson had a capable defense to not allow Kansas City to come back on a 49-0 run, that they probably would have went to the Super Bowl and won it?
Yes, absolutely they would have. There's nobody in the NFC that they would have destroyed the Niners.
Exactly. Defense wins.
Do y'all think? Because I think Deshaun Watson was in his probably 3rd or 2nd year on that run. Do y'all think that Tua next year can get y'all to the AFC Championship?
Yes,
I think he can. Yeah,
I think he can.
Stop that.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
But I'm not gonna give.
If you look at the AFC right now, it's completely wide open. There ain't nobody.
Right, and that's why I say Tua can do that. AFC's open. There's no runaways. Nobody is running away in the AFC and hiding. No runaways.
Let me tell you why that's a crap. Let me tell y'all why. Because y'all answer questions blindly with your fandom. Just be real. First of all, when we talk about next year, the only way you can gauge that is say, where are we right now? And everybody else is gonna get better just like we are. So what makes us think we're leapfrogging anybody?
Okay. If you took the team
Because of
right
who we match
now,
up against.
if you took the team right now and ran it back through the whole season, we 100% are probably the number 1 or the number 2 seed.
No, we're
Exactly.
not.
Yes, we are. Thank you. Who said that? Marcus? Exactly. We're easily the number 1 seed.
Why is that? What changes?
Do y'all see what y'all doing? Y'all are
Our
living
defense?
in a world. Y'all are living in a world where you're taking 2 good games and saying if we can just stay like this and go back all season, we undefeated.
No, you said that we have to evaluate based on what we are now and what we, think the competition is going to be like. I'm saying if this team, the way the defense has been playing and the offense has been playing, because the defense has been winning games.
Hold on. No, hold on. Marcus, let me ask you this. If you took the team right now, we went to next year, and you went into the playoffs against the Ravens, do you think you'd be able to get 0 blitz on them again?
Yes.
No.
Because they don't have a quarterback that's elite above the neck up.
They'll be ready for it.
He'll still be panicking.
No, they'll be ready.
So you're telling me no team schemes?
Okay. Even if, say, they score twice as many points as they did in the game against us, we still win that game, I think. I believe that if we took this team right now, the way we're playing, the defense is winning games and the offense is keeping up, which is all I've ever asked of this specific team. I think that we can beat, on a good day, we can beat any team in the NFL.
So
any team in the NFL, absolutely.
For the offense to be keeping up, they would have to actually score at least 20 points by themselves. And the offense is scoring 26 points by
The
themselves.
defense has played at a Super Bowl caliber level.
You're
What happens
talking
when the
from a
defense
standpoint. Exactly. You're
But
talking
again,
from a point
again,
of
true.
the defense performing at a high level right now.
Y'all do not
There's
think,
no telling how long. Look, I got the number one offense. I'm a Bucks fan. I got the number one offense, period.
Okay.
I love my defense. We're gonna, even on bad days, we're gonna score 24 points. Like, that's given. You know what I'm saying? So we played you guys.
Unless you're playing against the Redskins.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah, you played us, but you also
that's a
played
whole
a
nother
strange
story.
version of us where we weren't playing the same defense.
They're playing too much against the Redskins.
You're taking
That was
something
without Chase Young.
that's not gonna happen every game or every year. Like, you're
Any
again.
given Sunday, bro.
Bro, you're not going to run zero blitz on Tom Brady all game.
Okay, you asked me if I thought this team right now was capable of beating the Ravens. I countered with yes, I think we're capable of beating the Ravens again. I think we're capable, in theory, if we have a good game, of beating any team in the NFL.
You can only say that because of the last game you had, though. But if you play the Ravens again, they're not going to let you sit there and zero blitz them again. They're going to be.
You don't know that. That's like saying, well, the Buffalo Bills have beat the crap out of us 6 times. They're not going to beat us the 7th time. You don't know that. We can beat the Ravens again.
Wait. It's not about.
You're breaking up, TD.
It's about why you beat them the first time. The reason why you beat them the first time.
And why did the Buffalo Bills beat us every single time? They playing the same scheme.
Yeah, but
they're not changing things up. They saw that we don't do well, and they keep applying it every time we play them until we fix it.
Hold on.
And the Ravens ain't gonna be able to fix the zero blitz.
No, there's a difference between we're playing defense and you can't handle our defense, and there's a difference between just playing one damn defense and saying we're blitzing.
And what if they did to do it? They had 4 quarters in that game to solve it.
Okay, look,
they ain't solved it, and they ain't gonna solve it in the next 4 quarters.
You might not be able to solve it on the fly, but I guarantee.
What do you mean on the fly? You have a halftime that you have 30 minutes of intermission to make up the freaking changes.
Listen to me.
To make adjustments. There's no excuse. They haven't shown me the blueprints out on the Ravens. The Browns applied the same blueprint, and it's going down. The Ravens, the blueprint is out on how to defeat them. And the Dolphins got and gave it out to the rest of the league, and the rest of the league is copying it.
There is an excuse because when you have game plans, again, you're game planning for a team all week. When you have game plans, it's different. So when you say go to the
what come they didn't solve it against the subsequent teams that did it against them? It was the same type of personnel. Apparently they haven't solved it.
Listen, because maybe they looked at that team. Maybe they looked at that team and said, okay, they don't do that. Again, you watch tape.
I don't buy it.
Does that team
I'm
do
not
that?
buying.
No,
It's a
they don't do
copycat
that.
league.
Okay.
It's a copycat league. I ain't buying it. Nope. They haven't fixed it. They haven't solved it. We can apply the same principles until they fix it. Till they change their offense to adjust to our defense, we ain't gonna go in and change jack shit.
Hey, guys. Well, hey. Pause. I know. Hey, let's continue to have this great conversation. I'm loving it. Let's just let each other talk, and be mindful that there's kids watching as well with the language. So, but y'all all good.
Let me say one thing. If y'all think Tua can take y'all to the AFC Championship, when y'all play the Patriots at the last game of the season, he's going to have to show y'all that he can compete with the Patriots.
Exactly.
Right now, they're the top
The
dog.
Patriots game is going to be the real test.
No one's arguing that. But can Mac Jones overcome our defense?
Hey,
if he looks suspect against the Patriots, he's not the guy.
When do you play the Patriots?
That would be assuming Mac Jones can overcome our defense.
When do you play the Patriots?
Okay.
The last game of the season.
We have Tua has.
It won't tell you nothing.
All right. Listen, y'all. That time has come. We're at 3.5 hours. Maybe late tonight, if I have time, I might spark another one up for everybody to come in and we can keep on talking. But this is some great conversation.
TD, follow me on Twitter.
Get out of here. Me and the wife finna go do some Christmas shopping. So we finna get up out of here.
TD, follow me on Twitter.
Hey, just send a request to me because I
already messaged you. You messaged me earlier on Twitter.
Look,
I replied.
Okay, I got you there.
Julie, I have perfect timing, don't I?
Yeah, you do, Chris.
Hey, But no, I appreciate everybody coming through. This was a great conversation. If I have time late tonight, I want to spark this up again. It might be around 9 or after. We're going to keep this going. I want everybody to come on, though, and give their point of view. I want to talk more about this one right here, man. I want to talk about this. Will we make the playoffs or get to the AFC Championship and all of that stuff? Because I don't know, man. That's an interesting one. But we'll pick it up later. I appreciate y'all coming through. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for holding it down because I've been working all day. I've been so busy. Y'all been holding it down for me.
Thank you, TD.
Yeah.
We're going to do more as we go. I appreciate all y'all, man. Marcus, Insanity, all y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming through. Real Talk, John, Jolie, Gigi, Crypto, and everybody who came through, man. Love y'all.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, by the way, one disclosure. Don't let EM lie later. Finsanity, if you still here, you saw when I got home, I dropped the link. Did I drop the link?
You dropped it 3 times. 3 times.
He gonna lie later. He gonna lie later and say I was running for him and I didn't drop the link or I blocked him.
All right.
Y'all remember that now.
That's a good one.
I just gotta say before we go that Tua has about a 5-game audition for this team, and I will save any and all final judgments on Tua until after that 5-game audition has been completed, which I think personally is fair. If he sucks at the end of it, move on.
It's the way we win that game.
I agree, Marcus.
Hey, y'all, all right, cut it there. Bring it back tonight. Finsanity had one last thing.
Trying to get out of here.
Finsanity had one last thing she was trying to say. What's up?
Fins up to y'all. Take some time to enjoy the win streak. I mean, we're really kind of ODing when we should kind of be enjoying this time. Like we're finally winning. Ha ha ha! Finally. TD, I won't be home until like after 11, so I won't even be able to listen to the stream. So nah. I got a flight. So good luck to all y'all on the stream. You guys are all absolutely amazing. And EM. Shout out to you, Mr. Ballgame. Thank you for all the facts you were dropping in the comment section. Also, CB83 and just everybody who participates. You guys make it all fun and interesting.
No, you need to in Finsanity. You told me to drop the link for EM. Make sure you remember what happened now.
Okay, I got you.
He gonna lie later and be like, TD ain't want to smoke. He ran from it.
He ran from the smoke.
He might have been back to work.
I had almost 300 witnesses. So
300.
Nah, because I'm gonna ether him when he come on again, because you know he gonna bring that lie up. No, TD blocked me. He want to smoke. All right, man. I'm out of here, y'all. I gotta go.
Yeah. Hit the like button on your way out.
Peace.
All right.
Peace. Great talk.
Great talk.